Testing. Testing. 1, 2. Can you guys hear me? Welcome. Good evening. Good. Okay, cool. I just checked to make sure the audio is good. CPT, yes, we're on Colored People Time today. We are on that type timing. So be sure to go ahead and look at y'all hitting the like on y'all way in. Okay. We're on code today. I'm just watching it go up. 12, 13, 14. It stopped. It's fine. 15. Now it stopped. It's fine. So I'll give you, ladies and gentlemen, a second to get in here. Hi, mistress. Welcome, Mara. D nice. Okay, I see the familiar faces here. Curry up and eat. We have Kenny here. Colored Petty Time. Kenny is utilizing that new meme Discord. Welcome, Kenny. Oh, it's So Golden's first live. I do apologize in advance for what you're about to see. I'm assuming you came from Themis or Cynthia. Unfortunately, we do engage in a little niggatry from time to time over here, so I do apologize in advance. Alicia, welcome. Gorgeous, welcome. Okay, so I see the regular people in here, so we can start. Encanter, welcome. In Bullet Magnet. So we're going to start this off with some memes, as I like to do. Something lighthearted before we get into the into the mess. Let me see. This is what I saw today. You guys didn't like my memes last time. You guys said you don't understand them. So I'm trying to get something that we can all kiki together with, because I want us to be in community. So let's watch this one. Let's see what's going on here.
Gunner, what's your opinion on Minnesota?
Don't really care.
You don't care about Minnesota?
I don't care about your question.
What is Minnesota?
Go.
You don't care about.
Go.
I was asking about Minnesota though.
Go away.
Dude, what's
I don't know what it is about that made me laugh, but that's what made me laugh. Okay, let me see. We can do one more. Oh, okay, we can watch this. This was actually on code. Woman creates female-only nightclub. A woman created a female-only nightclub to stop men ruining nights out, and now it's a massive success. And it looks like Hit Show Podcast stitched it. Let's see what he has to say.
You're gonna pay full admission to get in the club, full price for drinks and.
Oh, this is hold up. Let me go to his video to see what he was saying. 46 seconds. I don't know. Can we endure? Okay, we can endure.
Out of all the things I've seen to get rid of men, this probably is the absolute worst thing I have seen so far.
Let me get my notepad out. Y'all know I like to take notes. Okay, this is the worst thing he's ever seen. Women-only nightclub.
It never seems to amaze me how women try to get rid of men. So now you don't want men in the clubs. You might as well go to LGBTQ club if you don't want men. So now you're gonna.
Does he know that men can be LGBT? Never mind. Let me just listen.
Pay full admission to get in the club, full price for drinks and food, and dance on women. Enjoy yourself with nothing but women, and spend all your own money at the club. That makes absolutely no sense if you're not a LGBTQ female.
Okay, he doesn't understand. I didn't take notes. I don't feel like it was necessary. I'm gonna have to ask you to not be drinking out of your uncle's. Oh, I thought these cups looked nice. My interior designer scammed me. I thought he said it was classy. Okay, I need to find a woman interior designer because I don't know why I took advice from what does Bourbon Bougie call him, XY. Um, but no, this cup is definitely from 2021, so it is not that dated. Um, why is he squinting like that? Sir said he don't want to be bothered. I hate that I saw the last video. Okay, let's catch up. Let's catch up. Welcome, Jamil. I would go. Yeah, I don't think he understands. He's parked outside the club. I believe he would park outside a women's only club because he's upset. This dude is delusional. We slipping them the money under the table already. Follow-up question: does he know that just because you don't want men around doesn't mean you're gay? You know, I've never thought about it that way. Just because you don't want men around, that doesn't mean you're gay. Now that you said that out loud, I'm having this type of revelation that just because you don't want men around, that doesn't mean you're gay. Maybe he can have that revelation too. That's mind blowing to some people. Um, who gonna tell him? Why not just invest in the club? So I don't understand. You see women going to a club by themselves and you mad. I really don't understand. It feels like women are just like, oh, we want community with each other, and he's like, this upsets me. Why don't you want to be over here with us? You're stupid. You're gonna spend all your own money. That's something I hear a lot too. Women going to the club and looking for a man to spend money on them or buy drinks. But I don't think women go to the club looking for a man to buy them drinks. I think women go to a club, and then based on what I've seen in the club, um, the men will just approach women, and then like in my mind, the women are like, I don't want to talk to you. There's a fee, so I need a drink to endure this conversation. That's what I need. Where's his passport? Yeah, for some people who have some passports, I have no idea why they're out here outside the female only club mad. His outfit didn't work to get in. He's mad women don't mind paying. He's baffled. That's the thing. He's baffled. He's like, you would pay your own money. You wouldn't get any free drinks, and there would be no men to dance with. None of us were checking for him. Okay, let me stop going through these. Let me stop going through these comments. Nobody's being nice. Y'all know we believe in positivity over here. Okay, so let's get into the video. I think we're good on memes now. It's been two memes. As I'm looking for the third. As I'm looking for the third. Okay, we can do this.
Oh, I love these videos. Do I think it's gonna break? Yeah, I think it'll. Second step, it's gonna. What?
I don't know why. Okay, now we're done with memes. I have no idea why that made me laugh so much, but I'm trying to get us to all be on the same humor level as far as like shared humor. So yeah. So let's do the intro and then we can get into the video. Okay. So what's going on with this video? We were going to look at the actual show Boys versus Girls. Boys Alone versus, I think it's Boys Alone and Girls Alone. There were two separate social experiments where boys were left in the house alone, girls were left in the house alone, and we just watched to see what they were doing. Apparently the camera crew was invisible, so I don't know how much merit I can treat this with, but that's what we're going to be looking at today. And the reason we're going to be looking at that is because of something that I've heard online frequently, and that is men built this world and women just live in it. Let me see if I can find a clip for us to get some context. Let's see. Pearly things. My goodness. It's 20 seconds long. I don't know if I can make it through. Okay, here, let's play it. Okay, so we get the gist, right? The gist is men built the world, women live in it. Men built the world, women live in it. Keep that in your mind, that phrase, because that's been confusing me. I think the reason that I'm seeing this so much in my feed is because I've heard recently that Fresh and Fit have seemingly been recently demonetized on YouTube, so they no longer make money off of their YouTube stuff specifically. I think they're still on Kick or Rumble or something, but this means that all of their fans and haters are covering that, which means they're in my feed a lot more. So I'm catching my shorts tab and all of my YouTube videos in the page when I open YouTube and see everything is catching strays. So I'm getting this in my feed. Take a sip of my alleged Kool-Aid. What is up with y'all with the Kool-Aid accusations? Why do every time I drink something on stream, y'all say it's Kool-Aid? Y'all know there's more. Anyway, sorry. But the gist is men built the world and women live in it. And that has kind of weirded me out because I feel like what people are doing is assuming that all men are builders and all women are something else, like caregivers or something like that. And it feels like a sort of power play, right? But when we look at male occupations, the most recently that I looked at this, let's see, it looks like the highest total male workforce is in sales and retail assistants. Sales and retail assistants. Let me see if I can sort by highest. Yep, that's the highest. Sales and retail assistants. I think people use this as a power play to say that men are this and women are this, but men aren't this. Men are sales associates and retail workers. So Walmart, right? Most men are not out here like building infrastructure or doing like some intense manual labor when it comes to work. Most people aren't. I think where the conflation comes from is, well, first, let's start with the employment rate because I don't think all men are employed. The last time I looked, only 65.5% of men are employed. So, not all men are working, right? Only 65.5% are, and then the other 35% isn't, right? So already there's a big chunk of men who aren't doing anything. Men specifically, not boys, right? But then when we look at the men who are working, they aren't builders, they are Walmart associates. Not that there's anything wrong with being a Walmart associate. I think that's very commendable. Stocking the shelves and going in the back to twerk whenever somebody come in the store and say, do you have any extra in the back? No, there isn't, but I'll go back there and look. I think that's very commendable. Working in service, especially if you guys have worked in service before, it's really exhausting. It's cheap. It's cheaply paid, so you don't make a lot of money. You're expected to do a lot more out of your job description. In my experience, you have to do a lot of customer service, and I have no idea what's wrong with customers anywhere. McDonald's, Walmart, over the phone. If you do, what's it called, customer service over the phone, like tech support or something, anywhere, customers are rude as if they've never worked in a service job or been on the receiving end or whatever. I have no idea why people just have audacity and come take it out on you, but they do. So I don't want to devalue that job, basically, is what I'm saying. But when we say that men build the world and women just live in it, men don't build the world. Men stock shelves at Walmart. So I think the conflation comes from the fact that when you do go to those jobs, they are disproportionately made up by males. They're disproportionately made up by males, right? And I think people conflate that to mean that all men are this, right? Think about CEOs, for example. Even though it's a male-dominated field, the stat is misinterpreted. When we look at the job title of CEO, CEO is a position that's male dominated. This doesn't mean every man in America is a CEO. This does not mean the average man in America is a CEO. This means that of the CEOs that exist, the majority are men. Why is that important? Because that means men don't build the world. These workers build the world, and they tend to be disproportionately men. Now we're going to drop that so that we can go into the actual experiment that we're going to look at today. But we're going to come back to that. I just wanted to kind of open with that because that was a big part of the reason why I decided to talk about this today, because I just keep hearing men built this world, women just live in it, and that's why men this and that's why women that. But no, they don't. So moving forward, I looked at this study, which I saw from Bourbon Bougie, our good friend, if you guys remember her, made a video on it, and that I've already seen the not the study, what's it called, experiment before, but I've never talked about it, in Bourbon Bougie just like jolted my memory. So let's see what it is that she jolted. Let's all jolt together. Hello, Invincible. Welcome. And hello, Bratz Doll. Oh, Bratz Doll wasn't here when we did the Barbie review, because I feel like we should have had a Bratz movie instead, but it's fine. Funny, in Arabic culture, men and women things are kept separate for society. I don't know about those people. We don't talk. I'm looking for one comment I saw real quick. Where is it? Rondell, good morning. Good morning to you. It's evening here. Very important that we address that. People in these low-wage roles don't earn enough for their labor, nor the rampant disrespect they have to deal with. The service levels don't surprise me. Yeah. So instead of looking at the video, because I feel like they definitely don't want me to do that on my YouTube page, based on how they felt about when we looked at Oprah, we're going to look at a article that I feel like summarizes the thing pretty well. And then what I wanted to do is look at what the men are saying about the study and what the women are saying about the study, because I thought we would all be on one accord. It seemed pretty straightforward to me, but apparently people got different interpretations. So we're going to look at a surprise man who I feel like represents a good portion of what men are saying online about the study. And then we're going to look at Bourbon Bougie, because we give credit where credit is due. But before we do that, a sip of my alleged Kool-Aid. Excellent. Now the article. Boys and girls were left alone for 5 days. 5 days. The experiment revealed eye-opening insights on how both groups are misjudged. And we're just going to go through and read. Make it a little bit smaller, my eyes are... No, let me make it bigger so you guys can see. I apologize. How selfish of me. In recent years, more and more people have been calling for parents to raise boys and girls the same way. I do want to point out, the title of Bourbon Bougie's video was something like, "We raise girls, but we love boys." Let me see. So I did want to point that out. Let me pull up her video anyway, because we're gonna be looking at that a little bit, Okay, there. We raise girls and we love men. So interesting. I forgot that, but to continue. Upon first hearing that, you might think, well, obviously all kids should be raised the same way, but in practice, it's actually quite common for girls and boys to have contrary upbringings. And one 2017 social experiment has recently gone viral that makes that abundantly clear. Let me do some ASMR for y'all. That's strong. Left alone for 5 days. I hope they're not being literal. They are being literal. These are children who were left alone in a house. Now, allegedly, this was really controversial. And I remember it having a lot of backlash for safety concerns and such, mainly for the boys who were like outside trying to kill animals and doing weird stuff, and tearing everything up. But I'm not going to get too far ahead. But people were very concerned about the safety and ethics of this study. But yeah, they were left alone. They also allegedly had access to a psychiatrist, I think, or a psychologist, as well as someone from the production team monitoring to make sure that it's not unsafe and being able to intervene if it did become unsafe. But they spent a week living in homes unsupervised. The social experiment has recently been circulating on Twitter. After the Boric Acid Avenger, no clue who that is, shared clips from original videos, and the internet has since been engaging in many conversations about gender roles. Below, you'll find a summary of both sides of the experiment, as well as some of the reactions people have shared online. So you too can let us know how you feel about the results in the comments below. This is your call to action in the comments below. So let's see some of the summary that they wrote. This was for a documentary called Boys Alone, and some notes they said. The kids didn't know each other prior to the experiment. Parents, guardians, and adults were not allowed in, and all participants were required to take a cooking class prior to entering the house. I think that's important because in my mind, this is done to try to make sure everyone is coming in on equal footing. Yes, sip, sip. Welcome, concerned. I didn't see you. Thumbs down to the ASMR. Okay, I won't do that anymore. That definitely violates research ethics. Well, we're not going to talk about ethics right now. We're going to talk about results. The video featuring the boys shows their home quickly devolve into chaos. By the evening, the mess they've made has already been bothering them. One of the boys said, "We've never expected it to be like this. But I'm really upset that we have trashed this so badly. We were trying to explore everything at once and got too carried away in ourselves." Okay, so that's interesting. So they understand after the fact that I guess, destroying everything was bad. So hindsight, right? None of it. And then some pictures of what the boys are living in. Looks like they spray painted and possibly tore up some of the walls. A lot of trash and stuff on the floor that they just threw around. And yeah, he's eating out of a frosted flake. He's eating directly out of the cereal box. A bunch of trash around. Oh, that's disgusting. I wonder how long. Well, it's not too long. It's only been 5 days. I'm like, how long has that been sitting there? I don't know how long you guys think that would sit there if it was longer, but I feel like they ain't about to touch it. There still hasn't been an organized meal, and sugar has been the main source of sustenance. They seemed ill-equipped to properly take care of themselves in the house. Everyone had completed a cooking course before the week began, though at this stage you wouldn't know it. And he's riding a bicycle in the I'm sorry. I didn't look at the pictures beforehand. I didn't know. I forgot how rowdy it got. But yeah, he has just left his plate of cereal on the table where it will probably remain for a while. Looks like there's some more trash over here. As he rides his bicycle to what looks like the kitchen, which they apparently don't know how to use. They have the awareness, but no initiative or gumption. Don't know what that is to resolve it. I think I get what you're saying. Were all children the same race? That's a good question. Now I have to go back and look because I remember there being one black child in the women's group. I don't remember for the boys. Yeah, they did them dirty with these pictures. They drawing on the walls. They got stuff all on the floor. What are they doing with the bed? I don't know. By the evening of the third day, the group had divided into 2 gangs. After forming gangs, the boys' behavior became increasingly aggressive. They're still drawing on the walls, even after they said, "I regret messing up the house and making everything dirty, and now we have to live in it." They continue to. Okay, anyway. Some more pictures of mess. Oh, they did them dirty with these pictures. Well, they did it to themselves. Smell the picture? Who said, hold up. The fact that I can smell this picture. Alicia. Okay. Yeah, this is just, no, I don't like any of this. I don't like any of this. The atmosphere was becoming hysterical and aggressive. Almost everything had now been destroyed. Michael was made the scapegoat, and his increasingly strange behavior made him an easy target. They are not autism friendly. Is this Michael? I forgot which one is Michael. He looks like he's going through it. He looks like, what's the name of the guy? Alan. He looks like Alan in the Barbie movie. He's like, no. Now they're outside. The bike has gone outside. That's good. The cereal. Why do they keep eating out of cereal boxes in random locations? This is so weird. As they left the cereal in the milk in the bowl on the table and just take the box to, no. By the end of the week, they had managed to completely trash their home. Yes. You can watch the full video featuring the boys' experiment right here. We actually can't. We're not trying to get demonetized out here. The girl house, on the other hand, painted a very different picture. Okay, looks like they might be cooking some stuff or doing some arts and crafts. Okay, so this looks like a mixed or black girl. So multiracial, yay. Some cupcakes or what? Hey, what is this? Okay, so they're not chefs, guys. They're they're not chefs, but they're trying. They're trying. Wait, hold up. Actually, no. Let me give credit where credit is due, because look at them making stuff, keeping it in the pot. Well, not pots and pans, but in the mixing bowls, and then actually somewhat keeping it inside of these little molds to make some cupcakes or whatever these are gonna be. Sadi tries to make cakes. Okay, they tried. They quickly banded together to organize activities and delegate responsibilities. They turned into the Oval Office in here. Sherry takes charge of the cooking and prepares their first meal. What? Hold up. Is this the Great Supper? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope, there's not 12. It's not the Great Supper. Not they're sitting at the dinner table, then said grace and eating. Anyway, they made plenty of time for fun while still managing to take care of themselves in the home. Nikki and Jessica organizes a fashion show. Okay, so they're having fun without destroying everything. She's cooking bread. Okay, so here's what is going on here. I have no idea what this is. I don't know if this is food. I don't know if it's paint. I have no idea what this is. So I guess this is the mess, and it looks like she's cleaning it. This time it's Gabrielle who starts cleaning up, and everyone joins in. What? So if one person hold up, because I'm thinking about the perfect household, right? You're telling me one person starts cleaning and everybody else joins in. This is something I've never heard of kids doing this. I've never heard of this. Not the way these parents are out here telling me about their struggle. I ain't never heard of something like this before. They arranged a meeting to sort out who should do the cooking and the clean. What? So they have that little thing that parents make. They have the little cleaning chart and the chore activity. Okay. I'm impressed. You can watch the full video of the girls' experiment right here. We will not. While the girls were not without their issues during the experiment, the overall behavior of each group reflects the gender roles that these kids have been taught. Okay. The girls weren't always perfect. Later in the documentary, several female participants teased each other, and a few of them even left the experiment. But all in all, comparing the boys' behavior to the girls' behavior says a lot about society and gender roles. The boys were messy, malnourished, and aimless when it came to setting house rules. The girls, on the other hand, were organized, compassionate, clean, community-oriented, and well-fed. So it looks like the problem with the women is that some of them teased each other, which in my mind seems like regular child behavior. I'm not sure to what extent they teased each other. I don't know if it was bullying or not. I really don't. And then the boys are just like wrecking everything and becoming increasingly violent, and they can't eat because they can't cook, even though there was a cooking class prior. A few lessons to learn from this experiment. Children of all genders should be taught the importance of kindness, cleanliness, health, responsibility, and community. People of all genders possess the capacity to be great leaders. The best societies are run with kindness, empathy, and compassion. Okay. I don't disagree. I don't think what this study proves is that people of all gender possess the capacity to be great leaders. It seems to specifically, it would prove anything. I don't know that it proves or disproves anything, but if it did, it feels like what it would prove is that the women are more capable, at least at leading and community-oriented things. So, do we all kind of have a gist of the study, right? I would be comfortable, well-fed, and entertained in the girl's house. Yep. Sadly, the black girl was being mean more than a few times and was doing too much towards the other girls. She did fix her act once the other girls, stopped playing with her, and one kind one reached out. Aw. Tried to make cakes. Yeah, they threw her under the base. They said she tried. Did this experiment really teach us that all? No, and you're going to see a little bit of that theme in the rest of the thing. So let me read the little excerpt from the bottom. Let me read the excerpt. Should I read the excerpt? Look how long this is, or should I go straight to the Twitter comments? Because y'all know I'm all about the comment section. I don't even care about the video. I don't care about the experiment. I care about that comment section. That's what I'm trying to be, and I'm trying to be in the mess. Let's read a little bit of this. Put a 1 if y'all want me to read it. Put a 2 if not, but I'll start. If you're a parent, it's possible that you may have never even considered that your sons and daughters might be receiving a slightly different upbringing. In your mind, you likely believe that all of your children have equal potential and are capable of achieving whatever they want to in life, but you might be subconsciously pushing them in one direction or another. Have you encouraged your sons to play sports without ever asking if they wanted to take art classes or try dancing? Have you encouraged your daughters to help you out in the kitchen but never asked if they'd like to play football with their brothers? We are all conditioned to associate certain behaviors. Wait, what was 1 and what was 2? Okay, well, anyway. We are all conditioned to associate certain behaviors and traits with boys and girls, and it can be hard to break down those unconscious biases. However, it's important to be aware of the difference in treatment that boys and girls in our own lives receive, because that is exactly what sets them up to act in line with how the children in these social experiments acted. The girls did not innately know how to prepare meals or how to take care of a home. They have been taught. And boys of the same age are perfectly capable of having the same skills if they are expected to uphold the same behavior. But according to a survey by NetMoms, plenty of mothers know they treat their sons and daughters differently. 88% of them, in fact, they admitted to being more critical of their daughters, and some even noted that they would let their sons get away with more than their daughters could. The idea that boys will be boys is an outdated belief that should no longer be perpetrated. Girls are held to higher standards from a very young age and are required to learn life skills and responsibility, or they will be looked down upon. Boys, on the other hand, are somehow allowed to skate by with little to no consequences for their actions until they reach an age where they are forced to take care of themselves or find a partner to take care of them in the same way that their parents previously had. And let me pause here and say, because we just watched the video earlier in the stream where the guy is like, why are women trying to go to these women only clubs? Don't you know that you're missing out on men? They are missing out on children that they have to take care of. At least according to the research, apparently single women do less chores than married women, which is wild because you would think that now that you have a partner, right, now that you're in a relationship and someone is here to divvy up the workload with, your workload would essentially half or at least stay the same, right? Or at least both of our workload would increase or decrease or whatever it would do it in conjunction. But no, the men's workload decreased and the women's workload increased when they got married. So I treat this with credence, at least what they're saying in the article regarding the men will just like live in filth until they date someone and then the partner will clean up after them. Of course, not every boy and man struggles with responsibility and learning how to cook, clean, and take care of his personal hygiene, but overall, women are not given the option to miss out on those skills and lessons. They are just expected to know these things. According to a 2016 survey from the UN, girls spend 40% more time on chores than boys do. Oof. And by age 14, that jumps up to 50%. I said oof too soon. While boys are outside running around or off playing video games with their friends, girls are first expected to help prepare meals, clean up the home, and take care of their younger siblings. Girls face a variety of double standards in terms of their appearance, their work ethic, their temperament, and more. And parents and educators should be working to see that boys and girls are held to the same expectations. Drink break as I go through these comments. Y'all are saying 1 anyway. I don't know what 1 is. Then the boys end up as the next George in Bourbon Bougie Chronicles. So you guys are keeping up with Bourbon Bougie because I've been watching I've been watching these chronicles. Maybe we'll go through that at the end of the stream because we're gonna play her video anyway. So while we're over there, we might do that in the after show or something because y'all need to know about the George Chronicles if y'all don't know already. These grown men anyway, sorry. Academically, it was outside their scope to say whether girls innately had the skills. Yeah. And I want to pause and say, I don't know if it's innate or not innate in girls or boys. I don't think it is. And to the degree that it is, I think your social conditioning matters a lot more, right? If you think that boys can't clean or something like that because they're boys, I think that that is something that can be overridden with a societal conditioning or paternal conditioning or something like having a chore chart or something and expecting your son to do chores. I think is something that will whip that up, right? So, um, the girls in this experiment, let me see. Oops, we're too far down. If you never ask your son how he's feeling because you assume that boys are less emotional than girls, he will never learn how to articulate his feelings and will instead learn how to bottle up his emotions. If a boy is never asked to help prepare a meal or clean up after dinner, he will learn that those actions aren't his responsibility. If boys are taught that concerns of personal hygiene are girly, they might assume that it's perfectly fine to sit in their own filth, potentially putting their health at risk. Yeah, these men think apparently getting like getting your nails done is girly with the clear polish. Um, I'm not with them. I don't associate with those people. So the girls in this experiment still managed to do things they enjoy and find fun in being unsupervised, but they also showed that they had the skills required to be functioning human beings. They were equipped with the tools needed for those circumstances, while the boys were completely out of their element and had no idea to how to process the freedom and emotions that came with being left alone. We would love to hear your thoughts on this viral experiment in the comments below. Okay, so we're at the end. Do you guys think this is an accurate estimation of how things went? Because I do. I think they're well said. Now, the important part. The important part, we can get into these Twitter comments. Thank goodness. I've been waiting. So all of them had a cooking course, all of them, but only one group cooked, only one group cleaned, only one group organized meetings, only one group delegated tasks, and that's the group that would make terrible leaders because they're, quote, too much drama and too emotional, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. The girls were even making chore charts, using words of affirmation, cleaning up after themselves, and I noticed a couple of them showered before bed. Their hair was all wet. Like, wow, I'm so proud. Snaps, all snaps, all snaps. Okay, just an interaction between the girls. Sherry's crying, so we're organizing a beauty pageant. Oh my God, I'll make us all cakes after I've cleaned the kitchen. Meanwhile, the boys are like, the walls are black. I haven't eaten in days. I don't even know if these people are my friends. Yeah, it went to degeneracy. I've always said Lord of the Flies would be a whole different book with girls. I really just want to understand what reason did those boys have to destroy the house like that. At this age, girls have more sense of duty, domestic skill, and cooperation. Boys catch up later. However, environment also plays a big role. If it were in Japan with Japanese kids, they would have lived like responsible adults. I should have looked into that. I've heard about that actually. In countries where the men have an expectation to be clean, I wonder how this experiment would go. I don't think it's just boys are messy, girls aren't. It's parenting. The parents have been easy on the boys and hard on the girls. Why do we baby our men so much? Well, Bourbon Bougie says y'all raise boys and y'all love, y'all raise girls and y'all love boys. So, and let's go through one more. Dear parents, boys need to be held to the same standard we box our girls into. Those boys were messy, destructive, and lazy ASF. Awkward as life is, some well-behaved girls end up falling for badly behaved boys. Oof. Not some. I think a majority, based on the earlier research they present, where parents are like 88% of parents are like, we do treat our girls differently than we treat our boys, and we hold them to a higher standard. Last one. The girls were able to clean, put on live entertainment, cook, and damn near run businesses whilst providing comfort to each other. The boys went straight Lord of the Flies. So now I need to figure out what Lord of the Flies is, because I have no idea what y'all are talking about, but I assume it's about some boys who got rowdy. Who got rowdy. Uterus closed up like the oof. Okay, Japan's very clean. Rwanda too. Japan has a show where kids do adult tasks like grocery shopping. I've heard. So now that we've kind of introduced the topic, I wanted to go to someone who is who is covering this. Let me see if I can find it. What was his name? Why can't I find this video now that I need it? Let me play some elevator music for y'all while we... Did everyone like the stream? Be sure to leave a like. Comment your thoughts. Where is this video? I'm really, what I'm hoping didn't happen is that the person didn't remove it. Oh, found it. I was like, did they actually remove it? They knew I was coming. They got scared. I clicked the notification bell, yet I still didn't get the notification. They don't want to see a black man be... It's okay. You're here now. That's the important thing. I'm 39 years old. My mom still expects more out of me than my brothers who are 38 and 31. I believe you. I believe you. I didn't have a childhood. I started babysitting and taught how to do domesticated work at 7 years old. I believe you. I believe you. Master host. Thank you. Okay, so this is what I saw. I think, the first 30 seconds of this video, and then I went to the comments because that's just how I am. And I knew that they had something that we wanted to hear. So I think we can all watch together. We can all watch together. Then we can watch Burb, and then she will represent the women, and he will represent the men. So let's see what the men have to say. This is 13 minutes. Buckle in, please, everybody. Buckle in. Let me see. Let me put it on 1.25. We can speed it up a little bit.
Yo, what is good, guys? I got a special video.
Welcome, Heyo Haji. Welcome, Heyo Haji. Welcome, Heyo Haji. And Invincible. Babysitting since 10 years old. Ew.
For you today. What if you had a bunch of boys in one house versus a bunch of girls in another house, unsupervised? What do you think will happen? So I actually found clips from these two documentaries on TikTok.
Wait, how could I forget? Let me get my notepad out. Should I be big or small? I feel like I should be big. Assert dominance, assert masculinity.
Boys Alone, social experiment, and then they also did a Girls Alone social experiment. So these documentaries were created back in the early 2000s, 2002 and 2003. And I'm going to go ahead and take clips from these documentaries so we can see the differences between the boys and the girls, because I'm a firm believer that boys and girls, men and women are different. We're not the same. We are counterparts that's meant to work with each other. We are.
Okay. So boys and girls are not the same. We're meant to work together. I hear that a lot. I actually hear that a lot. Boys and girls are not the same. We're meant to work together. So that's his hypothesis. My hypothesis was that boys are socialized to, or rather boys lack the socialization that girls get to cook and clean and take care of themselves and other people. Which is why the boy house devolved into degeneracy, and the girl house seems like world leaders sitting at the UN summit or something, delegating work. That was my hypothesis. His hypothesis is boys and girls are not the same. We're meant to work together.
Are the two sides to the same coin. But before we get into
two sides to the same coin,
my name is Jay Hall. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button. Go ahead. Concerns, whatever. I tried out.
He makes music, but I watched that part and I don't think I should subject you guys to it. So
you got to start having your fun. And the boys also started destroying things. And this is how the girls played when they were first introduced to the house.
just do a fashion show. That's cool. And my mum's going to be appalled when she sees what I've done. It's going to be like...
So both genders started playing around and painting on the walls, but the boys did do it at a more aggressive level than the girls. And as a result, they created a huge mess.
So badly. We were trying to explore everything.
Now, I thought that the girls were making art on the wall, which my mom says is a problem. So it doesn't matter if it was art or actual destruction. But I thought that the girls were doing art instead of like, I want to tear everything up and scribble scrabble.
At once, weren't we? Yeah, no. And got too carried away in ourselves. Oh, those balls just really bugging me. What are they doing with it?
Like on the first day, their mess was so bad that they couldn't even clean it. They tried, but they weren't even using the right tools to begin with. And this is how it ended up going.
Futile attempts at cleaning the walls are still going on.
Is this man pointing a gun at a wall? Excuse me? They weren't using the right tools to do. I thought they was about to have some bleach or some ammonia and be creating mustard gas or something. No, this man is pointing a toy gun at the wall. Tell me that is squirting some water out or something. So they're trying to clean the wall with a rag and water. Been with my wife for 23 years, over half my life, and we compliment each other, pick up each other's slack, and raise each other up. I mean, I wouldn't disagree if people were saying that men and women are different, but we should coexist like that. I feel like I would be okay with that, but I don't feel like that's what people usually say. I think people usually use it to divide the two into different roles that don't make sense. Where those roles tend to have a lot more accountability on the woman and a lot more expectations, whereas for the man, he get to draw on the walls and then clean it up with a gun. Welcome, Tisha. Cleaning with the water gun. Okay, it's a water gun. Oh my goodness. Basically, men are needed to destroy women's efforts. Oof. Petty, go back. I didn't see a gun. We'll go back a little bit.
Futile attempts at cleaning the walls are still going on.
It looks like one of them has a water gun and the other one has one of those. It like pops, but it doesn't shoot anything. It has like blanks and it makes loud noises. Is he just copying the older one, or anyway? I'm not gonna look into it. That's not the important part of the study.
Let it dry. Yeah, I'll tell you.
Meanwhile, the girls' mess wasn't on as big of a scale as the guys.
This time, it's Gabrielle who starts clearing up, and everyone else joins in.
As you can see,
Whoa, they're using dish detergent and actual cleaning okay.
they were using cleaning products and a vacuum. I didn't see the boys using that at all. And when it comes to food and cooking, this is what the boys did.
It hasn't been an organized meal, and sugar has been the main source of sustenance. Everyone had completed a cooking course before the week began, though at this stage, you wouldn't know it.
So both genders completed a cooking course, and the best the boys could do was make cereal and drink Coke. Crazy! So this is what the girls did.
Sade tries to make cakes. Sherry takes charge of the cooking and prepares their first meal.
So the boys filled up on sugar while the girls actually made a meal and had an organized dinner at the dining table.
An organized dinner at the dining table. Y'all. Hold up. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'll pull it up when I can, but let's continue.
And I was actually pretty impressed. So the boys eventually divided up into two groups, the louder boys in one room and the quieter boys in the other.
The group had divided into two gangs, the noisier boys in the big bedroom and the quieter boys in the small one.
Okay, I'm actually going to give the boys credit a little bit. Earlier, when we read the article that said the boys divided into two gangs, I was thinking blue and red. I was not thinking loud and quiet. So if the quiet people are like, y'all are too rowdy and I can't be doing this, I think that's actually like a little mature, or at least more mature than being loud and rowdy and tearing everything up. So
meanwhile, the girls split up into who is the mom of the group and who are the girls that just want to like run around and have fun.
I didn't put the plug in.
So keep in mind, this challenge is going on for a week. So a few more days into the challenge, this is how it's going for the boys.
The atmosphere was becoming hysterical and aggressive. Almost everything had now been destroyed.
And this is just proof that, boys, we do need guidance. We have all this physical strength. And if it's not guided in the right way, we could destroy things. So this is why fathers are needed. Because a woman can't teach a man how to be a man. Only a man can really teach a man how to be a man and how to guide his energy. So meanwhile...
Wait, what? Did I miss something? I feel like I just missed something. That is not what I get from that. That's not what I mean, so there were comments. I did see comments like this where people were in the comments like, sure, they're rowdy, but if we get them to team up, they can be a force for good. If they had the right training or whatever, then we could get them to be a force for good. And in my mind, these are like randomly selected people who don't know each other. The only training they've had apparently is a cooking course. So in my mind, I'm asking, why can't they do it themselves like the girls did? Are girls superior? They can do it without encouragement, I guess is what I'm saying. And this is actually reminding me, I'm not sure why, of if he wanted to, he would. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard that phrase or if you know how it relates to this, but I promise you, I'm going to connect you there. Please stay with me. Don't give up. If he wanted to, he would, right? I've seen that recently, and a lot of people stitching TikTok saying that they hate when people use this phrase, right? They hate that people use the phrase so much. You shouldn't expect him to read your mind. Just tell him. That's unfair to him. Don't assume he doesn't want to. Just tell him what you want him to do. But in my personal experience, right, it tends to be about, if he wanted to, he would, tends to be about basic stuff like treating the girl with human decency or cleaning up after yourself or taking out the trash. And maybe this is controversial, but I think I'm going to side with the if he wanted to, he would crowd. Because I've seen this wreck relationships and marriages in my personal life where these dudes' wives will divorce them because they don't do laundry, they don't take out the trash, they don't take care of the kids, fold clothes, wash dishes, etc. And the man will always be like, I would have done it if you just told me, or if you had to just communicated to me that you wanted it, I would have done it, but you never told me, you expected me to read my mind. And I'm like, why do I need to tell you to take out the trash? You're grown. Well, the boys in this video aren't grown, but you are at the same level that your counterpart is with in this video or in real life in these examples that I'm giving, right? Why do I have to tell you to take out the trash? You don't smell this full trash can making the entire kitchen smell like filth. You don't see these dirty drawers on the floor with boo-boo stains on them. You don't hear the child crying in the other room. Why do I have to tell you to do these things that seem like they should be basic tasks, right? I am trying to respond to the guy in the video in good faith, because what it feels like he's saying is that the boys need fathers to rally them up, right? To kind of corral them and to put their aggressive anger into something productive. But why do I have to corral you to do that is, I guess, what I'm getting at. These are basic tasks. And this brings me to the question, not regarding these boys, but regarding grown men who might be in a similar situation as these boys. Still, I'm talking about George. If you guys have been over at Bourbon Bougie's channel, how did you survive on your own before you were married? And I will tell you guys how, barely. And we can see that in the study where girls are able to form a functioning, clean and healthy space to live in. And the boys are like wrecking everything, eating everything, tearing everything up within hours, fighting each other and engaging in, I guess, degeneracy. Or even without the study, right? Have y'all ever gone to a single man's apartment versus a single woman's? A single man's apartment is like the saddest thing I have ever seen in my life. Let's start with the trash can, since we talked about that earlier, stinking up the kitchen, right? I walk into a man's apartment and immediately this smell hits me. And I'm begging this man, this is one of my friends, I'm begging him to take the trash out. I'm asking, why have you not taken the trash out already? This is our first conversation after walking in the apartment, because it's here. It's immediately here. How can you ignore this? How can you ignore this for this long? I hope he's not watching. Well, I'm not naming anybody. Let's call him Jay. All right, let's just call him Jay. But this is sad, y'all. And I'm just like, why haven't you done it already? And y'all, first they start with the trash wasn't even full yet. This man has chicken juice it doesn't matter if the trash is full when you have this chicken juice and fish wrappers from tilapia and salmon he's been cooking and vegetable peels from when he was preparing his veggies just festering in the trash can, right? Just breeding all types of bacteria and all type of bacteria and smells. Talking about, I don't smell anything because you've been living in it, right? My bad. This turned into a vent session, but because you've been living in it. And this man said, this is what happened. He got a paper plate when he was done eating, because he doesn't have like actual silverware cutlery. And he turned the paper plate upside down. I'm sure you all know where I'm going with this. Upside down. And he put it on top of the paper plate. Still had uneaten food on it, by the way. So it's about to add to the smell. He put it on top of everything in the trash can. He pushed it down to compact it so he would have more space in the trash can to put more stuff in it. This is after the conversation we've had about the smell, after. And he's still continuing with the degeneracy, right? What else can I call this besides degeneracy? What else can I call this? And I do apologize for venting, but I go to the fridge, right? He doesn't have anything in the fridge. How do you have all this food in your trash can and no food in the fridge? His fridge is empty. Where's all the food in your fridge? He said, "Oh, I'm not hungry yet. I'm not hungry yet, so I haven't bought anything today yet." I'm sorry, sir. Did you just say you buy food as you get hungry? So every day, you say, 5 p.m. my tummy's rumbling, and you go to the store to buy groceries? Nah, I go to McDonald's or something. I only buy food if it's like Christmas and I have to cook for a lot of people. Wait, what? Hold up. They coming over here for Christmas and letting you cook? Anyway, sorry. First of all, where are they going to sit when they come over for Christmas? There's no couch, right? There's no couch. Oh, they can sit on the floor. That's why I got an apartment with carpet. What? I got an apartment with carpet so they can sit on. When they sit on the floor, it's not the hardwood floor that hurts your butt, but you can sit on the carpet. That is not what. Anyway, sorry. And let's go back to the McDonald's. No, I'm not done with this, actually. Let's go back to the McDonald's thing. This is what you're eating every day? McDonald's? Now, y'all, I've heard about something recently going viral called girl dinner. And it's where women put together the cheapest, sometimes weirdest combination of food items and jerry-rigging some type of dinner together. I'm talking about a whole can of SpaghettiOs, a banana and peanut butter, like just combinations of food that's like, no, you're not side-eyeing. I was side-eyeing. I felt like my eye was in my skull. Anyway, sorry. But I've heard about the girl dinner, right? Where girls put this together and it's like something they do every once in a while or when they don't feel like putting in effort into cooking. Right. This man is telling me he does this every day, not boy dinner, but like every day, unironic dinner. Y'all, and let's get to the furniture, right? Because this man has nowhere for me to sit. So I'm on the floor eating the Uber Eats he got delivered. I'll give him credit for that. The Uber Eats was good. And we are watching the TV, which is also on the floor. My back hurts. The reason we're describing this, by the way, is because I said before we started this little spill, I said that going into a man's apartment versus a girl's apartment, a man's apartment is one of the saddest things I've ever seen. So if you just popped in the stream, I'm just explaining why I said that. So we're watching the TV, which is also on the floor. My back hurts. My neck is craning to see the TV because that's not how TVs are designed for. You're not designed to be sitting on the floor eating, looking at TV. We're not cavemen. Our spines have evolved or something. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. There's no pictures on the wall, no paintings, no decorations, no home decor. It felt like I was sitting in a prison. There's just 4 walls, a TV on the floor, and us also on the floor. And some dinner we're eating straight out the box from the restaurant because he doesn't have plates and he doesn't have silverware. I asked to go to the bathroom because I didn't properly digest the food because my stomach, I believe personally, I'm not a scientist, I don't do anatomy, but I personally believe the reason that my stomach wasn't filling the food, wasn't digesting the food the way it was supposed to, is because My stomach is used to eating at normal height, not on the floor. So this meal has upset my anatomy. So I get in the bathroom, right? Hold up. Let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all what I saw in the bathroom. If I can pull this picture up. Let me show y'all something. I need to show y'all something. I need y'all to understand something. Let me put this image on screen. Do y'all see what I see? Hold up. Let me do this instead. Do y'all see what I see? This isn't from his house. This is just something I Googled randomly. I hope we can all see what's on the screen. I hope we can all see what's on the screen right now as I go to the bathroom for an emergency that he caused by not having furniture or healthy food in his fridge. Why does this man have a toilet paper roll that's hanging on by a thread? A thread. There is so little toilet paper on the roll that I can see the brown through the paper. I can see the brown through the paper. He had a little more paper than this on there. He had one thin strip of paper, one thin strip covering the brown. I could still see the brown through the thin. First of all, you shouldn't be using thin toilet paper. I feel like you're going to mess around and finger your... Anyway, not the point. The point is that toilet paper roll was hanging on by a thread. There is so little... Anyway, that's how thin it was, though. And there is used toilet paper in the trash can. And I'm not talking about used for pee. So the trash can has no liner in it. So the boo-boo is just touching the trash can with no liner. I at least put Walmart bags in my trash can, right? I get up to flush and I see boo-boo stains on the inside of the toilet. They were not mine. It looked like they had crusted and solidified a long time ago. And the toilet is in such a condition that it couldn't have been cleaned in months. I take a peek in the shower. What are they called? Stains. There are stains all on the floor. And I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here. I got to get out. I didn't finish. There's not enough toilet paper. I didn't finish. What is this story? I'm just explaining why a man's apartment is the saddest thing I've ever been in. Ever in my life. And this is unanimous. This is one man, but we can generalize. We can generalize. I got to get out of this bathroom. I can't be in here. I go back to finish my meal on the floor because the meal was good, even though my stomach didn't feel like it. So that I can leave, right? I want to finish this meal so I can leave. But I can't even finish the meal because I keep sneezing so much. And I'm asking him, do you clean your floors? He says no, because he has carpet. And the reason he got carpet specifically was so that he wouldn't have to sweep. Y'all, I hope we all understand that you have to vacuum carpets, right? They're not maintenance free. I don't have a vacuum. So you got people over for Christmas, he said earlier, letting you cook, and you have these people sitting on these floors and you don't vacuum. Do you at least dust? What do you mean? You don't know what dusting is. Okay. So you have all these fans running at full speed. You've never dusted them. They just, the dust from the fan just flying directly into our nose and throats. And now I'm coughing and sneezing and kicking up dust in the carpet, and that's going to make it worse. I'm not even going to talk about where his mattress was. It wasn't on a bed frame. Just know that. That's all I'll say. It wasn't on a bed frame. And it's not a mattress. It's the type that you fill up with air. And I let him know that it was great hanging out with him. But I have to go run some errands. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll come running with you. I ain't got nothing to do. Yeah, of course you don't have anything to do. If you don't consider cleaning something to do, of course you don't have anything to do. If you don't consider stocking your fridge with some food for your guests, or your cabinets with some chip or something for your guest, of course you don't have anything to do. So anyway, he wants to, I think he's trying to leave this sorry excuse for a home. That's what I think he's doing. But I politely declined because I don't want dust mites in my car. And his fire alarm was beeping. As a man, why are your fire alarm batteries low? That's feminine. Anyway, sorry. But I just needed y'all to understand why I feel like a man's apartment is extremely sad. So when men are living like this, right? Let's put our guest back on the screen. My bad. Well, he's just going to be there while I talk about men. I'm not talking about him. When men are living like this, and we conduct a experiment where we want to see how boys live versus how girls live, and the boys fail miserably, while the girls, having been conditioned by society, are managing their home extremely well. The men were in the comments, which is why I just went into this bill in the first place, saying stuff like, we should have put them in a forest with nothing but a butter knife, and then we would see who comes out on top. What I believe they're doing is they're trying to escape that sorry ass apartment. They're trying to that they're typing their comments from on the floor with no furniture, no paintings, no home decor, no pictures of family hung up, just them, a blow up mattress, a TV, and a PS5 also on the floor in that prison box with 4 walls. And they need to escape by making up, a fake reality where we can like go back 3,000 years when being mediocre as a man was enough to survive. And let me say, you can still, by the way, you can be mediocre as a man and survive today in modern times. But can you live? Can you live? Can we call what I described in that apartment as living? I don't think so. Apologies for the spill. Apologies for the spill. I guess the last thing I'll say on that was that it would be dudes in the comments describing. Let me pull up this picture. This is what I just thought of while describing this. Can I open this image and share it with you guys? So let's make it big. It was a woman, and she took this screenshot from a man's apartment and said, men really think it's okay to live like this. He has a fold-out chair and a TV on the floor and a Wi-Fi router or a PS5. I can't see because it's pixely. And the man said, women hate how little it takes for us to be happy. I believe that's coping. I believe you're coping, sir. I believe there is no way I can leave that sad apartment and you begging to go to the store with me and run errands with me in my mind because you don't want to be in this sorry prison box. I believe that this is a coping mechanism. Right? The men are facing one of the highest rates of depression and unaliving in human history, right? And you think sitting on the floor in this prison box with a TV and a game console also on the floor is a flex, right? That you don't take a lot to live and you don't take a lot to be happy. I think it's a coping mechanism to avoid reality. I didn't point this out, but he didn't have carpet in the bathroom, thank goodness, or in the kitchen, but those floors were sticky. And I don't understand what is, in my mind, nothing in your house is supposed to be sticky. Nothing in your house is supposed to be sticky. Can y'all in the comments name one thing that's supposed to be sticky in the house? Just one. What is supposed to be sticky in a house? Just one thing. We can continue when y'all name just one thing. Just one. One thing that's supposed to be sticky. Okay. A lint roller. Okay, y'all got me. Y'all got me. How do I have a lint roller? Oh, I was supposed to say and not a bug trap, but a lint roller. Auntie got because I was thinking about the fly traps with the sticky thing, but okay, Auntie, you win the comment of the day with the lint roller. How do I have a lint roller and forgot that? Let's let our gentleman continue. We got way off track. I apologize. But if you're in here, be sure to go ahead and leave a like on the video. It helps the algorithm. Oh, never mind. It looks like y'all already have. So y'all are on code today. Y'all just coming in the stream and liking before y'all watch. Cool. Cool.
The boys are destroying everything. The girls are.
Let me see what prompted that.
We could destroy things. So this is why fathers are needed, because a woman can't teach.
Okay, that's why we went into that. He was like, the fathers are needed to corral the boys basically into doing what should be basic human behavior as far as taking care of yourself and the people around you.
To men how to be a man. Only a man can really teach a man how to be a man and how to guide his energy. So meanwhile, the boys are destroying everything. The girls are organizing fashion shows.
Nikki and Jessica organise a fashion show.
Did they just set up a runway? Hold up.
Let's check in.
They set up a runway? I'm sorry. I'm impressed. They got the chairs lined up. Okay, my bad.
Let's check in on the boys.
Go downstairs and have a couple of fights. Orange light, come on, let's go. Oh, let's go trash the place a bit more.
Okay. All right, let's see what the girls are doing.
Charlie arranges a meeting to sort out who should do the cooking and the cleaning.
So just as a recap, the boys are like fighting and throwing stuff and excuse me, not fighting, destroying, throwing stuff, wrecking everything. They've just decided to go down and have an apple fight and destroy some more stuff. The girls are like runway, paint on the walls, but then clean up the walls properly, cook food and meals. The boys over there malnourished. They done gone through 10 Coke cans each, and that's their dinner, their boy dinner. So.
Okay, they are assigning chores. I'm impressed. Hopefully the boys do that too, man.
That's it. Drop tomatoes.
You know what? When I was a boy, I was kind of like that. Shit. All right, let's see what the girls are doing now.
When I was a boy, I was kind of like that. I don't like how nonchalant he is about the boys. I would be really concerned if these were my children. I mean, they're not his children. I don't think so. I assume not. But I would be extremely concerned. Extremely concerned. I would be like, no, we need to fix this. But he's like, oh yeah, I was doing this when I was a boy. Oh, all right. My mom just raised me well, I guess so. Elitism gang.
Some of the girls have set up a beauty salon.
So from what I'm seeing with my own two eyes, the girls are setting up a functioning small community while the boys are just destroying everything. Shit, damn. I'm not gonna lie, as a boy, I wasn't that destructive, but I did like to smash things. And I think a lot of boys do like doing that. Then again, I also knew how to cook because I'm Caribbean. I was cooking when I was like 8, 9. Frying eggs, cooking rice. All right, since we got that stuff out of the way, let's get to the more emotional stuff. In each group,
Okay.
there is a scapegoat. There is one individual kid that the others couldn't tolerate. They didn't like them that much. And in the girls' group, it was this girl named Sade.
I just want to do something reactive.
They're boring.
She was the one girl that decided to annoy all the other girls out of her own enjoyment.
Go up there and annoy them and make sure they don't get to sleep.
Sleep.
And not.
Go away. Stop it. It's not funny. We're trying to get to sleep.
And she also had a pretty
I ain't get no sleep because of y'all. Y'all not gonna get no. Sorry.
toxic tongue, which made a lot of girls cry in the group because, you know, girls are very sensitive.
I didn't like that. I'm gonna let it slide, but I didn't like that line. I don't disagree that girls are sensitive. I think boys are also sensitive, but I think people generally just say girls are sensitive as to say that women are emotional or girls are emotional or something in a dismissive way. But yeah, I don't know why people want you to be insulted and just stonewall and just like stand up straight and stick your chest out and not be hurt. Like if somebody's insulting me, I'm gonna be insulted. So.
Slit her wrist, check her arms.
Was she right? She looks ill.
She looks dead.
Made a girl cry and pack up and leave. Crazy.
You going home now? Yeah. Come back on Saturday to see you.
And keep in mind, while all this was going on with the girl, Sade locked herself in the bathroom to get attention from the other girls.
Sade has locked herself in the bathroom.
She wants to. She wants to. What about Sade? Sade doesn't come.
So not only was she trying to annoy everyone, she was also an attention seeker. Eventually, the girls got tired of her and decided to vote against her.
If we have to vote someone out, who would it be? Sade. Sade. I she's annoying. Nothing. Who would you vote on? She's got 7 votes.
All right, so now let's head to the boys. So the boys' scapegoat was a kid named Michael.
Michael was made the scapegoat, and his increasingly strange behavior made him an easy target.
He was the first one to really like destroy everything and mess the place up.
Not one survived. Great warrior.
So what surprised me is that the boys grouped up and decided to go to a psychiatrist to discuss Michael's actions.
By the afternoon, the boys decided they wanted to speak to Dr. Scott, the program's child psychiatrist, about Michael.
They some snitches, man. They snitched.
In the meeting, the boys initially all turned against Michael, who watched on from his bed. He denied he'd been responsible for breaking everything. Eventually, the others agreed they were also to blame. Dr. Scott suggested the boys try to work together more as a group.
Yeah, so after the meeting, they did try to work together. They did try to team up.
Come on, Michael.
Separately, right, let me explain manhunt.
I'm not playing till Michael's playing, all right? Because we're missing this group.
All right, so they got Michael included. The group is coming together now. So instead of playing a friendly game of manhunt, they decided to do something a little bit more extreme.
I just wanted to say, I think it's interesting how Michael is scapegoated. There is one scapegoat in each group. So I think that was part of the experiment. Who would you vote out if you could, right? Who gets the most votes? I think it's interesting that the women punish the one girl who does the negative stuff. The men, all of them do negative stuff, but they only punish the guy who started it. It feels like they almost ignore the fact that everybody joined in for the scapegoat. So the women's side, the girl side seems less like a scapegoat and more like someone who is legitimately doing something, whereas the boy side does seem like a scapegoat.
The attempts to organize a group game turned instead into something more aggressive. Hunt the hedgehog.
So their first instinct is to hunt the first animal they see instead of playing manhunt.
Did you see that move? Inside, go away. Did you see that move? No, watch it move, watch it.
And this went on for a cool minute until the film crew decided to intervene. They're like, "You're not killing this hedgehog, no way."
Some hedgehog. Can't hear you, that's stupid. Boom.
At this point, the film crew decided to intervene.
When I lived in Jamaica as a kid, there were a lot of lizards running around on the ground. And I'm not proud of this now, but I used to kill those lizards in any way I could. I used to just hunt those lizards and kill them and like grab them by their tails and chop their tails off. I used to do some horrible shit as a kid, as a boy.
Excuse me? Somebody put this man on the list. I used to pull cattails because I thought animal tails were detachable. Because we used to have this game where I'm from called Pin the Tail on the Dump. Never mind, it's not important. It's not important why I used to think tails came off of animals. That's not important. I don't know why I started defending myself. Sorry, nobody attacked me. I apologize. But the important thing is I wasn't skinning animals out here. I was not skinning animals out here. That feels very Jeffrey Dahmer-ish to me.
Boy. And yeah, but now I wouldn't do that shit. But I don't know what it is about us that makes us do this. You know what I'm saying? So one thing I have to give the girls props for is how they try to help each other out and cheer each other up whenever any one of them is in distress.
What's the next? Sherry's upset.
Oh, is it because your pajamas are wet?
What happened anyway? I got upset because your toothpaste wet.
You and your mom and dad, do you want a hula hoop?
So we have this one girl, Sherry. She was pretty much the mom of the group. She cooked, she cleaned, she tried to make sure everyone ate right, and she just felt disrespected by some of the other girls on the team.
Sherry has a further reason for being upset. Earlier in
Wait, so she's cooking and cleaning for everyone, feels disrespected. So she's having like a depression moment and everybody come together to console her and make her feel appreciated. Meanwhile, the boys go to snitch on Michael to the psychologist. Okay.
the day, Gabrielle had told her she was useless.
Imagine being called useless when you contributed the most to the group. This actually made
Imagine that. Imagine being called useless, and you're the one cooking and cleaning everything for not just yourself, but everyone. Not one or two people, but all 10 of these people. You're cooking and cleaning and dividing up things and making sure everything is running orderly and smoothly, and someone would devalue your work. Imagine that. I'm sure none of us can imagine that.
Let her pack her bags and leave the house early. To be honest, I would have left too.
And I want to, first of all, these women started democratizing. I want to point that out at every point I can. I don't think democratizing is a word, but they started divvying out stuff, and these chores are going to be done by this person, and here's the chore chart. I'm extremely impressed. But also, even as girls, right? I've noticed this theme in society that I think we all notice. Even as girls, they are leaving the situation that does not serve them. Right? Okay, my cooking and cleaning isn't appreciated here. Bye. Oh, well, if you stay, we can. No, thank you. Right? So I'm curious to know how many. Well, I don't think it would happen in modern. Well, it might happen in modern times, but I'm curious to know what it would be like to have this study now. Maybe like it's only 6 years in the future, so we're not too far from this. But I do notice the trend of women who are like, okay, this situation doesn't serve me. Goodbye. right? So
I do like the fact that most of the girls came to comfort her and try to make her feel better. And meanwhile, this is how the boys will handle like a situation.
Robert, you my friend.
I feel him. I feel him. I feel you, little man. I feel you. Why does this man have every bit of wisdom that my father does? Why is this man grown right now in this one frame?
Are you my friend? Are you my friend, Robert? Robbie, come on. Can we put this all behind us?
Who in the comments said feral? I didn't realize it until I see them all grouped together eating cereal out of boxes collectively. But like, and they asking the guy, "Are you my friend?" And he just over there, like he about to smoke 10 cigarettes in a row.
As you can see, he left and they didn't try to follow him or try to cheer him up. So now we are at the end of the challenge. So this is where the parents come to get their kids back. And look at the differences between how the parents of the boys reacted versus the parents of the girls.
Why did you trash the place?
I also wanted to pause and say that I feel like even if the other boys reached out to help, I think it might be rejected, right? I feel like these boys will reject the help. Reject the help if it's offered to them. The reason I say that is because they're given like some form of cooking and cleaning lessons, right? But they reject using it. And more importantly than that, though, I don't think they care about each other. I don't think they have the community that the girls had, and that's evident throughout the experiment. So.
Oh, because we just got annoyed.
Annoyed with what?
Everything, basically.
What an experience.
You did really, really well. Fantastic. It looked a real mess.
Thank you.
Proud of that wave. Yep.
Did you make anything?
Did
Just
you
break things.
Hello.
Yeah. So lovely to see you. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
This was a fun video to watch to see the difference.
I do want to point out that some of the boys said they liked it. And I'm wondering if they did the study long terms, what would be the effects? I don't think the long-term effects are immediately available, right? You love the freedom of not taking the trash out tonight. Well, tomorrow there's going to be a smell waiting for you, and that smell lingers even after you take the trash out the next day. Now it's sticking on everything. Smell stick. It's sticking on everything, right? You like breaking windows, you like punching holes in the wall because it's fun. And now a few days down the line, roaches and ants have found a new and easy way in your home. Now the food in your cabinets might be ridden with bugs, rats, pests. And, you know, over a longer period, if we had done this study, they may have to face the long-term consequences of their immediate actions. Would they feel the same? Because it seemed like a lot of them kind of felt nonchalant about it, and some of them even liked it. Right. But when you're divorced, for example, I know divorce is a popular topic because you don't clean up after yourself because all your life your motto has been, I'll do it later. Now that you've lost a healthy marriage, are you still unbothered? Right. Now that there's a long-term consequence that impacts your life negatively. Especially for that example specifically, most men have like the highest likelihood of unaliving tendencies after divorce or breakup. So let's close this out. There's a minute and a half left.
Differences between the boys and the girls. The girls managed to come together more often. They were softer. They were more nurturing, but they could also be very emotionally abusive. Whereas the boys were more aggressive, more physical, destroyed a lot more things, and they weren't as.
Oh yeah, I did want to point out the parents were like, good job and stuff like that to the boys. I don't know if they went in the house or watched. I don't know. I missed what he just said. Let me rewind it a little bit.
Emotionally abusive, whereas the boys were soft. This was a fun video to watch to see the differences between the boys and the girls. The girls managed to come together more often. They were softer. They were more nurturing, but they could also be very emotionally abusive. Whereas the boys were more aggressive, more physical, destroyed a lot more.
He said the girls are emotionally abusive, even though it was only one.
More things, and they weren't as together enough times as the girls were. But they did do well in selecting a leader. And
Okay, so video dude says girls are emotionally abusive, even though it was only one, whereas all the boys were partaking in the study and the violence and breaking stuff. And that's interesting because I've noticed this about conversation around gender differences just broadly, where women are like, men do this, and men are like, women do this. And it seems like women accusations tend to be supported by data, where we can look at the men in this experiment, for example, and we can see that everyone, quiet, loud, whoever, seems to be partaking in like wrecking everything. Even if they have regret later, they're still partaking in it. And then the girls are mostly unified, and there's one bad actor. So again, I just noticed that in conversations like this, where we have the gender war discussion, it feels like women's accusations seem to be supported by data, whereas the men seem to be based on like what one woman did to them, what one girl did, what I saw one person do. I'm going to generalize that to the entire population. Dating, for example, women are saying stuff like men are violent, or I'm afraid of a man getting violent with me on the first date, or getting sexual or aggressive or something like that. That'll be something I hear from the women's side. And then from the men's side, I'll hear people say women want a man who's 6 feet tall and six-pack abs, six figures, or something like that. But the data shows something contrary to that, right? Women tend to date sideways or down in the Black community, or they don't date at all, because the current research is saying that women are choosing to forego having partners, indicating that this is due to potential partners lacking emotional regulation and relationship equality as far as cleaning and chores and stuff, divvying up duty, not because he's not 6 feet tall, right? But inversely, the men will take like a clip from Fresh and Fit where a girl's like, I want a man who's rich and tall and handsome, and they'll use that to generalize all women instead of looking at the data. But that's just what I see in my personal experience, so y'all can take that with a grain of salt.
And restoring order as a substitute to having parents earlier on in the challenge.
Who voted for George?
3 people. That's healthy. That's healthy.
Who voted for me?
Oh,
Who voted for George? You're
a
So they elected George as the new leader. And the first thing George did was write down everyone's complaints. And most of those complaints were about, guess who? Michael. This world cannot survive if it was only men, and it wouldn't survive if it was only women. We need each other to balance each other out, man. We can't have too much or too little of the other. So really, it's not boys versus girls. It's not men versus women. It's acknowledging our differences, what makes us different, and seeing how those differences complement each other. And somewhere along the lines, that is getting misconstrued. People are starting to blur the lines between men and women, and it's confusing us. That's why more and more relationships are just failing. We gotta work at our strengths and acknowledge our differences, because that's how we're gonna make the society flourish. With that said, I'll see you on the next video, man.
I must have misheard. Look, let's rewind that tape a little bit.
Differences complement each other to balance each other out, man. We can't have if it was only, and most of those complaints were about, guess who? Michael. This world cannot survive if it was only men, and it wouldn't survive if it was only women. We need each other to balance each other out, man. We can't have too much or too little of the other. So really, it's not boys versus girls. It's not men versus women. It's acknowledging our differences, what makes us different, and seeing how those differences complement each other. And somewhere along the lines, that is getting misconstrued. People are starting to blur the lines between men and women, and it's confusing us. That's why more and more relationships are just failing. We gotta work at our strengths and acknowledge our differences, because that's how we're gonna make the society flourish. With that said, I'll see you on the next video, man.
I'm confused. It's like he watched an entirely different video. How was that the moral of the story? I knew he was going to that argument. I did not know he was going to that argument. Men and women complement each other. The men break things and the women clean it up. That conclusion was so wrong. The girls were surviving just fine. Sounds like he's giving the boys participation certificates while making excuses for their poor behavior. I think it's really important. I'm really glad we went through the breakdown of the experiment before we actually watched his review of it, because in the breakdown, they talk about how when we look at boys, we have less expectations of them. And when we look at girls, we have higher expectations. And it feels like he was like seeking out faults. He was like, the girls were, they were kind of being emotionally manipulative. And it was like, what? Where did you see that? And the boys were able to pick out a good leader, and like they were able to actually write down all the complaints and have everything. That is not what I got from this video. I did not get both men and women have their problems, but we have to work together. That is not what I got. Can we come up here? I'll drop the link because we're going to go to Bourbon Bougie, but we can have a quick break for a couple people. If y'all want to comment on what just happened, but he says the world wouldn't survive if it was only men or only women. But the women did fine. The men were living in filth. The men were like breaking things. The men were tearing everything up and getting violent with each other. So let me pin the link. I don't know what he looked at. Now, let me make something clear. If men disappeared, I think things would go into chaos. If women disappeared, all women on earth, I think things would go into chaos. But that's not what this study wasn't an indicator of that. That's not the takeaway from this study. If anything, this study could be used to say that women have a much better chance in modern society to fend for themselves than men do. So I don't know what he was watching. I'm trying to give the best faith interpretation I can. But I have no idea how he came to that conclusion. I'm trying to figure it out. And I did want to point out, welcome Cantor, but I did want to point out, where is it? Where was the compliment on the boys' side? That's what I'm wondering. Someone said it in the comments earlier. Invincible, thank you. The men break things and the women clean it up. Hopefully that's not the type of complimenting each other that we're talking about. Cantor on, welcome, good evening. You wanted to defend your the man in the video, you said?
No, I'm not defending the boys at all. Like they were not even a little bit. No, but when you first started playing, I don't know who that guy is, but when you first started playing his video with his commentary, I was like, I already know what he's going to say at the end. I already know, because he was already making up too many excuses for why the boys were deplorable, to say it nicely. Like it was really I don't think I can say that. It was less than ideal on the boys' side. Way less than ideal.
Yeah, as soon as I call it padding, as soon as I hear somebody padding what they're about to say, I know it's whoever they're talking about just did something bad. And there's this type of, I want to cushion what's about to come out of my mouth, right? Because what happened in this study is that these boys were absolutely degenerate. And I don't think that's inherently because they're boys. I think it's because of their parenting, at least according to the research I've looked at in the article that summarized everything that we looked at earlier. But that's what I saw. I saw degeneracy. But instead of saying that in the beginning, it feels like he pads it. And even now at the end, it feels like he pads it. Hey guys, what we have to understand is that, it's important for first of all, before we even talk about this, it's important for fathers in the community to just, stick together and make sure we raise our kid. And it's like, okay, this is some padding. What it feels like you're trying to lessen the blow of what you're about to say about men, which is really weird because in my mind, based on what I've seen from, I guess, men online, I don't know if he's in the quote unquote manosphere or something like that, but it feels like there's a desire to deliver truth with blunt honesty and rudeness and harshness when it comes to giving that to women. But now when we have the boys who are supposed to be taking some accountability here for their lack of ability to do something as simple as take care of themselves, he's like padding it really softly and like just won't come out and say it, which I find weird. So I call it padding.
I was also kind of annoyed by how the parents, like not all of them, but some of the parents reacted to the boys. I wonder, because in the video, because I watched this video a long time ago, well, both of them, because I think it was like a 2-part series or something where they showed the boys in one and the girls in the other or something. I can't remember. But when the parents picked up their sons, some of them were like, "Oh, good job," and I'm like, "Did they see?" Because I know that they were being monitored through video. They had like video cameras in like the kitchen, the living spaces, like stuff like that. And I think maybe a few camera crews probably followed them around a bit. But I was confused when I saw that. I was like, did they not see? Maybe the parents didn't see, and they were just like giving praise because they had not actually seen what was going on yet. But I'm like, if they saw, how did you say good job? Good job for what?
I mean, maybe they're being, in my mind, the evidence seems to point to they're grading on a curve. So maybe they're like, oh, everybody else was punching holes in the walls, but you were only riding a bike inside. So like, okay, you were destroying stuff, but to a lesser degree than everybody else. So if we're grading on a curve, if we're not grading on a curve, everybody fails. But if we are grading on a curve, you did the least bad. What did people say when Hillary and Donald Trump were fighting for presidency? They were like, okay, I'm voting between a dumpster fire and a boo-boo sandwich. And I think I would prefer the boo-boo sandwich because this is like less bad in my opinion. So, I mean, everybody lost, but you lost the least. Congrats.
I would like to at least be fair and point out there was one boy in the group that actually seemed like he had some sense. Like
the one who
so overruled.
The one who was face
I don't
palming.
even think he really had a chance.
You talk about the one who was face palming and he went to the room and the other boys was like, "Are we friends?" And he was like, I don't know if he was violent or not throughout the thing, but I felt him.
I can't remember exactly which boy it was, but there was at least one. Well, there was only one, not at least. There was only one.
Let's see. So you can stay up, by the way. Thank you for coming up. But Lily Pads is late. You missed the best part of the video because you got to go back and listen to what I said about my friend. Be sure to like on your way in, by the way. It helps the algorithm. Thank you. But you can stay if you want to, but I wanted to also go through some of the comments, which I watched 30 seconds of this video before I decided we need to watch it together because I was looking through the comments. And I wanted to go through some of them because, so they're not that bad, but let's see what they say. Let me try and make it as big as I can. As a dad with 6 boys, I can attest that they are destructive AF, but if you get the energy working right, they can accomplish big things. Again, I'm going to say this like I said earlier. Why do you have to get the energy working right? Where the girls just come in here randomly with the same exact training that the boys got. And they're able to do this without like supervision. That is what I am curious about. That's what I'm curious about. Hold up. I lost the tab. I can't find it. Cantor, by the way, if you don't know this, I think this is really important. One of my commenters pointed it out. But there is supposed to be a lint roller that's sticky in the house. So that is at least one thing that should be sticky in the house if you don't have it already. Yeah. So again, more comments about, hey, we as men gotta, you know, whip them into shape and whatnot. They have to be whipped into shape and molded. The girls were way more structured than any adult female team I've seen on any other survival show. So that's actually an interesting one I've seen. So stuff themed alongside of that. Because they're working off their innate feminine and maternal instincts and aren't conditioned by a lifetime of sociopathic pampering? Huh? So again, this feels like whenever we go through a study like this or an experiment or something like this, yeah, they're in the comments like women hate each other. This is because they have not fully developed their victimhood mentality and don't have hormones flying all over the place. So comments are kind of along that theme, but I'll see stuff like this. It would have also been interesting to see how the groups reacted if they had to start from scratch. No house, no food. It would have given the boys a constructive way to channel their energy. While it might have been rough for the girls, boys naturally go towards the physical ways to build a community, while girls work well at organizing the society within the community built by the boys. It's not a catch-all. There are plenty of people who work well in both or the other gender's inclination, but there's a natural gravitation, which is how our species stayed alive to get to today. So again, the responses that I see to study on boys and girls' ability to be self-sufficient, where boys do terribly and girls do exceptionally well, people start saying, oh, boys are better at building society, girls are better at living in it. And we go back to what I said in the very beginning of this live stream. Men built this world, women just live in it. Men built this world, women just live in it. And there's even the comment about we should have started them without food, water, and shelter so that the boys have a chance to succeed in areas they excel in. And then, of course, the people pointed out other survival shows where women do terribly. Now, for one, we don't live in prehistoric time. Average people aren't out in the woods hunting and gathering, right? And again, as we looked in the research earlier, even average men, not just average people, but even average men aren't doing hunting and gathering in society, right? We talked about male-dominated fields and how they may be male-dominated, but that doesn't mean the average man does them. We use CEO as an example. We can use farmer as an example. We can use hunters. We can use mechanic, or any field that's male dominated that has to do with quote unquote building society. We can use these, right? Because average men don't do that. As we discussed earlier, they work at Target or Walmart. So why is this important? Because it feels like men want to take us back to prehistoric times so that they can have a quote unquote fair chance, at least based on what I see in these comments, right? And this is symbolic to me of how men tend to operate, at least in the online space I've seen, where there's an inability to operate within modern times and a desire to return to the Stone Age where they had an advantage due to brute strength. But no, men aren't out here hunting animals in the forest. Y'all are going to the grocery store. So like all the business about men are natural predators, and that's why we fail at maintaining a home. Y'all are shopping at Whole Foods, Walmart, Target, just like women are. So the average man isn't tearing apart lions with his hands. But I really just wanted to point out the regressive nature of we need to return to a time period where we were hitting animals with rocks to get food so that men can excel. That is like, it feels insulting almost. In my mind, I think we should move men to modern society. That's how I feel when I see a study like this where men are like failing to adapt to something that women are extremely good at, something that we all do every day in modern society. We all live, we all cook for ourselves. About half of the population cooks for themselves, clean for themselves, can maintain a household. The other half, I described the story to you guys earlier. And instead of being like, this is concerning and we should work on ways to move men to modern society, integrate them and get them up to speed with how we live in current times, it's always, oh, if they were in a forest with only a knife, if we did an experiment in the forest and there were predators that you had to hunt, then we'll see who comes out on top. And it's like, okay, well, thank you. Thanks for that information. I guess if a meteor hits the earth, we can count on men to still be in the same place that they started at 2,000 years or 2 million years. I don't know what religion y'all are or how old y'all believe the earth is. We can always count on men to still be in the same place they started at 2,000 years ago, right? Now, interestingly enough, right, where men are like, we need to go to an abandoned island for us to excel. When I see women speak about emergencies, this is what I found interesting. Those situations where men say that they're useful, stranded on an island or something. The only thing that I see women talking about is, I hope they don't SA me. I hope they don't decide we have an obligation to repopulate or something like that. I hope they don't decide, hey, we're stronger than you and we're going to use that. That's the only thing I ever see women like talking about when it comes to a stranded on an island or something like that. And I wanted to pull up a YouTube poll. Right? Where is it? Because I asked this question a really, really, really long time ago. Actually, let's go through a few. No, let's go through that one first. Where is it? Okay, here it is. So I posed a question to YouTube. This was 5 months ago, so this wasn't even recent. I just remember this because of the type of discourse that I see women having online about. I've seen like several TikToks. I don't know what's going on with my For You, where women are like, if I was stranded on an island and I was the only woman, I would unalive myself because I'm worried about what these men would do to me. So I wanted to pull up this poll. If you were 1 out of 500 people still living on Earth, would you reproduce to save the planet? 47, excuse me, let me see. I have to do math now. So it looks like 57% of the audience is male and about 38% of the audience is female. So now I have to do some math to figure out what percent of what voted who. But let's say the majority of men voted, oh, Cantor left. Thank you for joining. But the majority of men voted, yes, I would reproduce to save the planet. And a minority of men said, no, I would not reproduce. Inversely, almost a direct contrast to the men, an extremely small percent of women seem to say, yes, they would reproduce to save the planet, where the majority of women say no. I was interested in why people were saying that. Oh, look at that. I'm sorry. The first comment I saw is from a man who says males want to save humanity and women are unalivey. And the reply to him was, this is not the same as being unalivey. What this is a woman having autonomy over her body and saying, I'm not going to reproduce. Not the same thing. Women were given the power to end life as we know it. We are the ones who have to make the final decision. This is the issue. Men were never meant to make these kind of decisions. Now, what I think is really interesting is, that's not the comment I meant to look at, but just to point out in that comment, it feels like he's frustrated and lashing out. In my mind, he feels frustrated and he's lashing out. He's upset because women don't want to reproduce and save, quote unquote, save society. And he's kind of taking a dig at women for feeling like they don't want to procreate with men to, quote unquote, save humanity. If the men are getting like this frustrated just in a YouTube comment section where I post a hypothetical, imagine like actual real life male frustration, where we see these men in this house together who have no reason to have any qualms or quarrels with each other, who opposed to the women who are getting along nicely, start fighting and separating each other into different gangs and destroying the house and living in anarchy. So if that's what we see in just like little boys, imagine grown men who feel the way that these men in my YouTube comment section feel in real life. And then we start to kind of paint a picture in my mind about why women are saying, I would be scared to be on an island alone with these men. I might actually just unalive myself. One of the women said, no, but knowing how society is, some men would force reluctant women to breed. And Paul in the comments said, the reverse is also true. Some women will force reluctant men to breed. It ain't necessarily a gendered thing, it's a power thing. And I don't disagree that forcing someone to do something is generally about power. I don't think it's a quote unquote gendered thing insofar as anybody of any gender can do it to anybody of any gender. But I would be like facetious to be pretending like women are out here doing this to men in the way that the data shows that men are doing it to women. There's just not evidence to to support that. So I'm not going to go through the replies to that comment because the women were dragging him. The women were dragging him. This question assumes a lot of human agency in a desperate situation. Likely bet that nature and instinct will take over. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. It looks like he was fighting with someone who assumed the worst from his comment. She said, "I didn't mean to be condescending. There are a lot of predatory men on this planet. It's not unusual for a woman to be suspicious. I'm sure you can appreciate that. Also, before you say not all men, take the time to Google the stats in each country. You'll see why women are on guard." I agree. Women are going to force the men to breed. Apparently, they're going to. All I see online is women aren't as strong as men, and men are stronger than women. But apparently now the women are like overpowering. I don't know, anything to avoid, in my mind, anything to avoid accountability. But I want to move on to the next poll that I did. And the next poll was, if you were one of the last two people on Earth, is there an obligation for you to repopulate the world? This was, let's see, also 5 months ago. I think I posted this shortly after the other one because I was interested in how the comments were divided and how differently people voted. So, is there an obligation if you're one of the last two people on Earth to repopulate the world? So men, again, it looks like a majority of the men said yes, there is an obligation to repopulate the world. And then the minority of men said no, there is not. Inversely, almost no women said that there was an obligation to repopulate the world. And most of the women said there is no obligation. Here was my prediction at the time. My prediction was that a lot of men will say yes, while most women will say no. Anytime I've seen this question posed, this is always the result. My speculation as to why: women would be the ones carrying the pregnancy and giving birth with no medical care whatsoever. Remember that you're like the last two people on Earth. So this is like, I assume, apocalyptic, while men would only be doing the quote unquote fun and easy part, right? I elaborated and said, the question essentially is, for a man, will you have sex with a random woman, not even have to stay behind to raise the baby, like nobody can force you to, versus for women, it's, will you have sex with a random man and you might spend months vomiting or getting skin rash, can't sleep at night, and possibly have an excruciating childbirth without modern medical care, where you may end up with a permanent disability, for example, and possibly die. And then after that, if you're still alive, you probably have to take care of the baby, where you might not get any support from the father. In an account from a woman that I found online, TBH, if I was the last woman on Earth, I would unalive myself as soon as I find out. Terrifying to think what might happen if I was found. So it seems like women would also have the additional fear of being left alone with a random man and possibly being taken advantage of. Lots more to consider from the female perspective than from the males, it seems. And then someone immediately pointed out the disparity in medical treatment of Black women, right? Especially when it comes to pregnancy and labor. So we're already not doing well with modern medicine. They wouldn't be carrying the baby. So of course, yep, not at all, zero obligation. Agreed. 60% of the male respondents said yes, 10% of the women on the. So y'all are doing the math. Okay, y'all are doing the math. I can't do the math in my head that fast. Carrying a pregnancy is a whole traumatic event in our bodies before we even get to give the birth. No woman in her right mind is signing up for that. Yeah, as the last two people on Earth, nope. Nope, not if I was the last 6 million people. But yeah, I did want to kind of get a, hold up, lost track. I did want to kind of get into the mindset of how women are feeling when it comes to being stranded somewhere, because again, a lot of the men were like, we need to do this study in a forest 16 miles away from any civilization with nothing but a butter knife so that men can exceed. And it feels like they're thinking more of their ability to succeed with like physical strength and violence that they can weaponize against nature and use that to like eat and create shelter and do stuff like that. Whereas the women are like worried that they're about to be taken advantage of by people who are bigger than them. So I think it is interesting just to see how people are thinking about being stranded somewhere differently. How men versus women are thinking about being stranded somewhere. Studies show women were also hunters. In fact, they were better hunters. I don't remember the research I found, but there was a study to contest the idea that men went out and did all the hunting while women stay and take care of the children. There was evidence to support that women are out hunting as well. I don't know if they did better or worse. I can't remember the study. I can't remember the study, and to be frankly honest, I don't care, because again, not to you, but like to the notion that, oh, back then men were doing this, women were doing this, or we were both doing that. I really don't care about prehistoric society, and I don't know why people go to prehistoric society to when we're talking about modern day society. That feels really weird. Like, I'm not saying you were doing this, by the way. I'm saying, like, again, the whole theme of what I'm saying is it feels like the men are failing in modern society, and instead of improving, let's just take things back to the old days, right? The old days where women are literally subjugated and have no choice but to follow our lead, and where we were actually a lot more valued, right, for mediocrity. So that feels very regressive when I feel like we could be progressive. Since we're on his channel, let's look at what's going on in his Okay. Well, I'm disappointed. I went to his page. I haven't looked at this creator before. I just saw his video on the boy girl experiment, and I went to his page and I'm like confused. I am confused. What is going on here? Should I put this on screen? When men actually fight back, men versus women in forts. Women versus men for survival on an island to prove equality goes wrong. Woman humbled by little boy after saying she's just as strong as men. Yeah, I got the ick. That sucks. That sucks. Well, I have the ick now. I don't know why. So I'm confused about that. I actually don't understand when people make videos, when men make videos, right, about men being stronger than women, right? This is one of his most popular videos that I just had on the screen. In my mind, I'm like, what message are you sending to women? Because everything that I see, especially when I look in the comments of even just the polls that we just went through. I'm glad we just went through those. But even when we go to the polls on my channel where the women are in the comments like, I'm scared of men. I'm scared of all men. And the men are like, not all men, it's just the bad men. What type of message are you sending when you're like, men are stronger than women, and women humbled by teenage boy? It feels like it lacks foresight, because I feel like men are complaining that women keep saying they're scared of all men, and just tell women to know which men are the right men. But then here's this video about how any man, even a child, can do you some harm, right? I don't know. I don't understand the purpose of the video, I guess. Well, the purpose in my mind is to humble you, but I think it lacks foresight, especially when I feel like a lot of men are complaining that women are scared of all men. Also, why are you having a dick measuring contest with people with no dicks? That feels so weird. Is it like an ego thing? Because we discussed earlier the whole thing where, to cope with the fact that they haven't evolved with current society, right? They regress to the caveman era where strength is king. So maybe it's an ego thing. I really wish I hadn't went to his page. I got the ick. He has a video, why men don't want to date black women. I'm getting, I'm sorry. I got the ick. Okay, let's watch a little of why he doesn't date black women. Unfortunately, we're losing this black king, ladies. So you guys are going to have to
All right, y'all. What?
You guys are gonna have to miss out on this guy. Sorry, ladies, he doesn't date black women. Ick indeed. Sigh. Yeah, it's that tracks with the conclusions he came to. Yeah, even prehistoric society doesn't fit their agenda. Most food comes from gathering, and around 40% of hunters were women. Yeah, like even in hunter-gatherer society, right? We move away from going out to hunt everything into a society where we have to preserve stuff with salt to make it through the winter. Those are the societies that survive, right? Those societies which are able to create a functioning community where we all come together and we're able to preserve our food. And it's less about your ability to go out and brute strength something and more about your strategic skills as far as how you store your food, how you collect your food, making sure you have fruits and berries, because there's not always going to be bison around in each season. So you have to make sure, number one, you hunt the bison in the appropriate season and can store the meat, but also that you have filler so that you're not completely reliant on this thing and your entire population dies. So it's not like modern, quote unquote, modern society has just evolved and now women are just gaining the other hand. Like, no, even in a society where we're hunter gatherers, and we start focusing more on gathering because hunting just isn't going to cut it. Like, it feels like this idea of brute strength was left behind long ago. So like evolve or something. I don't know. Let me watch a little of this, because I need to understand. I need to understand something.
Is good, man. So I was just scrolling on TikTok, right? And then I stumbled upon this video that says why men don't want to date black women. Because if you guys didn't know, black women had the least approval rating when it comes to dating. And
wait, let me pause. Let me write down what I think is going to happen. I think what's going to happen is they're about to bring up the tired OkCupid study. There's going to be something about black women are masculine. Something about they don't want good guys, just thugs. He was a nerd and they didn't want him because he was too corny. Educated lame. Let's do that. Okay. So I just want to, that's all I want to do. I just want to, the whiteboard, look, it's all, I don't know if you can see, it's all the way back there. What I really need is my marker. I can't find my marker. I'm gonna just go buy a new one because I need it now. I need it now. They just string random words together and think I say yes. Okay, so I have my checklist here. We're going to mark off. We're going to take a shot for the OkCupid study. We're going to take a shot for black women masculine. We're going to take a shot for they don't want a good guy, just thugs. And we're going to take a shot for I was a nerd or educated lame, but they only wanted bad boys. I don't know. I feel like they just wanted I was an educated lame and they thought I was corny. Feels like the same as no good guys, just thugs. But I'm going to separate them because I feel like we need two separate shots for that. How will we go on without his attraction to? Thank you. Like I feel like the black community is in shambles right now. I'm at work, so you can't even cry right now at the loss of this black. Anyway, this black king, you can't even cry because you at work trying to give us alcohol. Okay, I just want to watch a little. We're not going. This is 15 minutes. We're not about to watch all this because this is off topic. I just need to understand something.
I just want to hear why. I just want to hear why men won't date black women. Me personally, I like my black women. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to hear why. I have no interest in listening to why. I have no interest. But maybe I judged him too soon because he's like, oh, me personally, I like my black women. I date my black women. So maybe I judged him too soon.
I'm saying, especially my Caribbean black women, because I am Jamaican. I am from Jamaica. Now, more than likely, they know how to cook. A lot of American women don't know how to cook for some reason. I don't know what the hell happened to y'all, but I like to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-oh, did we just drag this man and he's on our side? Oops.
You know what I'm saying? I can cook too, but if I have a girl, I would love for her to cook for me because that is a way to my heart. If you can cook a nice meal for me, I love that nurturing vibe about a woman. She want to feed me like the king I am. Hell yeah. But
all right, we're taking away a point. We're taking away a point. This is some ridiculousness.
let's get to this video, man. Let's see what these people talking about.
All right, so why y'all saying yo hope he don't like black women? I don't trust him. He gonna ride the fence. He quote unquote likes black women the same way. Oh, okay.
Oh, it's titled "Why Men Don't Want to Date Black Women." And before we watch it, in the chat, who in here would date a black bitch?
So I don't know. That feels weird because he didn't say who would date a black woman. He said who would date a black B word, and the guy we're watching is raising his hand like, yes, I would. And in my mind, I would be like, before we move on, I need to understand what is a black B word because I thought we were talking about black women, but okay.
I would, and I have. And I am.
Yeah, W comments.
I could, I have, and I am. I hope he's not anymore because somebody just said who would date a black B word, and you said I'm already dating one. So I need to understand. He was doing good until he called himself a king. Well, that's my vetting skills on display. We're not going to watch too much of this because I'm...
Section, brilliant. Okay. Okay, cool. Right, let's watch this video. Right, we do, Shandy. All right, like Chishan. All right, let's watch this video. And tell me this isn't fucking jokes. I had to say to him, bro, this was fucking funny, okay? Let's watch it.
Guys, this is the reason why men don't want to date black women. If you're watching this and you're a black woman, listen carefully, okay? It's not racism. I'm not racist. My friends aren't racist. I'm speaking for all men. They're not racist, right?
Let me pause. As soon as somebody says, I'm not racist,
it's nothing to do with racism. It's to do with being masculine and aggressive. No guy wants to date a woman who's so
okay, let's check out our let's check off our masculine off the list. Okay, it's checked off. How about this? We're going to check off our 4 and then we can move on because we're only
masculine and aggressive. The average woman, the black American woman, is 180 pounds. Man's coming like Israel Adesanya, middleweight UFC champion.
Facts though. Did you guys?
So this is weird. They're calling black women aggressive, masculine, ratchet, overweight, and all this, and he's sitting here laughing. What I feel like we shouldn't do is pretend like white women aren't sending black men to jail wherever they have a relationship dispute, or that passport kings or whatever they aren't overseas being made fun of by these quote unquote submissive Asian women, or like Latina women, right, who people tend to say engage in the same type of aggressive behaviors that black women are accused of engaging in, aren't seen as simply like fiery or don't have a positive connotation with the same stereotypes that black women have, right? What we do know is that research indicates that black women and girls can be perceived as violent or aggressive even when behaving in the exact same way as white girls, right? A sort of implicit bias, if you guys remember when we looked at that research. And what I don't understand is, as a black man, right, who used to be a black child, who as a black boy had my parents tell me not to walk around with my hands in my pockets because the police might think that a 6-year-old scrawny black boy is actually a 7 foot tall, 350 pound aggressive black man reaching for something. As someone who's had those stereotypes weaponized against me by, a police officer or quote unquote white America who rolled their windows up or clutched their purse when I walk by. And as someone who experiences the very real effect that these type of broad generalization that people make from stereotypes can have on your life and on people's perception of you, I don't understand how you, as a black man, right, can look at your neighbor in the black community, black women and black girls, and so readily and easily weaponize those same stereotypes against them. That feels weird to me. And I had this in another tab. This is like completely unrelated. This is just something that I saw today. It was posted 5 days ago, but it just came up in my YouTube feed today. But there was a 12-year-old black boy who was detained by the police while he was taking out the trash because he quote unquote fit a description, right? So even though he dates black women, he's posting this video to be passive aggressive. In my opinion, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. But we can see like the very real, I'm trying to appease to his black maleness, right? I'm not talking to black women right now because I think black women already get it. And even though these type of stereotypes where the police do profile black women as well, even though it's less talked about than when black men are profiled, I'm not speaking to black women at the moment. I'm speaking to black men. And what I don't understand is how can you have this sort of shared experience with each other in America where there is a sort of racial bias against you and there is a sort of stereotype against you that people readily apply to black men in general. How can you now look at someone speaking about black women in this way and you're like completely okay with it? I don't understand it. I don't understand. I'm trying to understand, but I don't. Like, that feels so annoying. His page isn't even about black women. We just went and watched his video on the boy and girl alone study, and it's like his page just seems to be about, based on what I went through, there's a lot of commentary that seems to be aimed towards women aggressively, proving women wrong and putting women in their place, that type of stuff. But his page is about stuff generally, even though that seems to be the theme of it. So his page isn't even about black women or black issues or black community, but it's like he can't resist. Like he can't resist dragging black women, like putting it somewhere. I can't resist it. Like it might have nothing to do with the content of his page, but I just can't resist it. I guess employing white supremacy tools as long as they can use it to step on black women's neck. I guess as long as you're not on the bottom, right? As long as somebody's under you, I guess it's fine. So
You guys know this. 180 pounds is the average black bitch in America. 180 pounds, bro.
In America. But listen, man, I'm not even gonna lie on that. When I go to the club, like a predominantly black club, yeah, there's a lot of people that's built like refrigerators walking around. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? But when I go to a club that's like more like the white crowd, there's more slimmer people there. Not too many fat people are there in the crowd. But a lot of these women in these predominantly black clubs and spots, like they're bigger. They're on the bigger side. I'm not gonna lie, man. Some men might love that chubbiness, man. We call them chubby chasers.
it's like they can't resist. It's like they can't resist. All I know is that when I go and see white women, they're just so much slimmer. Like they're calling black women aggressive and masculine and overweight, and he's just sitting here and he's like, yeah, I mean, I see it every day. And he's talking, I guess, about black women are 180 on average, and white women, according to the most recent thing that I looked at, right, are I think 170 on average. So like, I guess congratulations on the 10-pound difference. But also I've seen how black women carry weight on their body. And I promise you that extra 5-10 pounds is going to the right place. I don't know why y'all pretend like white women ain't out here trying to imitate what black women have as far as their bodies with these BBLs and lip fillers. But I guess congratulations to white women for the, you know, for being 5% less obese. So I guess congrats for that. And then he says black women look like refrigerators. And I feel disgusted because it feels like at any point where a black man can scapegoat black women, he does. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, how do you make Dr. Umar of all people look like a saint? Dr. Umar isn't related to this at all. He don't see all these big white women on TLC. Look, I've seen in my personal experience, since that's what he likes to talk about, when I see black men get with white women, the weight, never mind, I'm not here to drag anybody today. That's not what we do over here. But at any point where he can scapegoat a black woman, he will. It's like there's no protection. Like, what type of black men with other men, not in your community, calling women in your group ugly and aggressive and ratchet, and you're like laughing with them? It feels like a joke. Like maybe the lack of protection is why the women are in survival mode, right? Maybe you can take that logical next step of, well, why are they aggressive? Are they protecting themselves from something? And what I noticed, I think, on Themis's show, I did watch Themis's show yesterday. I did watch Themis's show yesterday. Interestingly, we weren't supposed to look at this. I think we're done with this. I've had all I can take. I don't think anybody wants to continue watching that. But I'm not sure exactly when in Themis's premiere yesterday that he speaks about this and that he shows this on the screen, but he shows the black woman who was essayed and all of the men who were like, the black men who were upset and they were tired of the quote unquote black male bashing. And the black male bashing in question was a black woman speaking about her experience, being RAPE'd. And what I notice is that they don't say they're tired of the men assaulting the women, just that they're tired about it being spoken about. And I see a little bit of that in this video where it feels like you skip over the reason why someone is saying or doing something and instead critique that they're doing it. Again, the woman in Themis' show like creates an entire movement for underrepresented women to feel seen and heard. And the black men and some black women, as we saw in the video yesterday, took this as an insult. They said, for example, that it was somehow just made up to paint the men in a bad light. Sorry, I'm trying to gather my thoughts because I feel like my thoughts are all over the place. Because I wasn't planning to have this conversation. We were definitely going to look at boys versus girls. And we did. I just happened to look at his page and notice, like, I don't understand the incessant need to drag. So I think I'm gonna drop that because I've had my fill for the day. Instead of continuing that video, we can go to Bourbon Bougie, who has a 3-minute video on the study that we looked at. The experiment that we looked at. Because I feel like we should just all cool down and chill out. Like, I'm too tired to deal with all that. But here's Bourbon Bougie so that we can relax. Because I just feel like Bourbon Bougie is relaxing.
There was a social experiment done in the UK where boys and girls were living separately. The boys were sequestered, the girls were sequestered for 5 days unsupervised. And the point of this social experiment was to talk about how boys and girls were socialized, because it is a known saying that girls are raised differently than boys. Like, boys get to just kind of do what they want, and girls are socialized to be caretakers. So this was what this experiment was about. This quote says, well, obviously all kids should be raised the same way. That is obvious, but it does not happen. So this is the boys section. The boys basically just devolved. One of the boys said, we never expected it to be like this. I'm really upset that we trashed it so badly. Immediately, they start trashing the place. Their diet consists of sugar. And something about this experiment, they were taught some lessons on how to cook for themselves and how to live before they were just left in this house. They are still just eating sugar, and they are still just being aggressive and jacking up the house. You can see that they are still just tearing up the house, not cleaning up. This is just ongoing, what they've done for the duration of the time that they're there. And by the time that they ended this experiment, the house that the boys lived in was completely trashed. Now to the girls. The girls' house was completely different. And keep in mind, these are the same age range. They started out with baking. The girls did create a meal. You can see that they are eating as a house. They also delegated and had responsibilities for each girl. Obviously, when you cook and when you're kids, you make messes, but they organized and they still cleaned up after themselves. This is where they were delegating, and they had a chart set up for who was going to do what, and everybody was basically joining in and making this a team effort. The differences between the girls' home and the boys' home is pretty like metaphorical for what we see today. And the reason why this is important is because this shows that boys and girls need to both be socialized into doing things that help the household. Cooking, cleaning, those are all skills that you need to live just a human life. But it's typically the girls that are socialized to do the cooking and cleaning, and the boys are typically allowed to do whatever. Now, this is obviously just one experiment, but in talking to women, this is how the men act as adults. So you have to start young. Like, comment, share. Let's discuss.
I want to point out that even though I do see like a lot of comments upset in Bourbon Bougie comment section sometimes that she's dragging men, it never feels like a drag to me so much as it feels like her looking at the data, extrapolating from it, or reading it verbatim, where she concludes we have to,
Let's discuss.
Oops.
As adults. So you have to start young. Like, comment, share.
She concludes we have to start young. It doesn't feel like she was like, these degenerate males out here do it. Like, it doesn't feel like male bashing in my mind, even though according to some of the men in her comments, sometimes that's how it feels. But it just feels like referring to the data. Whereas when we look at the men, it feels like they have to slide in some slights. But that was our good friend Verb in Bougie. I should check up with her, make sure she's okay with her new YouTube success. She's almost at 25,000 subscribers. Wait, excuse me. Oh, this is my old thing. Okay. I was like, I'm not subscribed. What is going on? How am I not subscribed? Got me embarrassed out here, looking like I just subscribed today. Don't make no sense. So I think that's how I want to end the stream. I'll have a quick after show. Let me see if the link is pinned. If it's not, I'll pin it now. If anyone wants to comment on anything throughout the entire stream, please feel free to come up. And just a quick reminder, lint roller is something that is sticky that should be in your house. The only thing that is sticky that should be in your house. But make sure to like if you haven't liked the video already. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the bell notification, although y'all are saying it doesn't matter because it don't give a notification anyway. But thank you guys for coming, and I'll have a quick after show now. Yeah, I'm just like, what was that? We shouldn't have watched so much. I actually should have listened to you guys in the comments. Because I don't feel like that served any purpose but to upset me. I don't feel like I learned anything. I don't feel like I got any benefit from it. I just feel like it upset me, and that's all. So it's just like, particularly after, I'm sure a lot of you watched Themis' stream yesterday, and the idea that people are critiquing the quote unquote masculinity in his video, where we don't look at why women feel the need to be in the quote unquote masculine, which I would call survival, not masculinity. But instead of looking to why people are in fight or flight mode, we look at the fact that they're in that mode and we're upset. Or even when we looked at my poll and the men were upset in the comments, like, wow, so you women don't feel like you have an obligation to continue society if you're the last two people on earth. And they're like completely looking over the idea that women are legitimately scared of being alone with only men on an island. Petty, your hair is growing. Are you planning on getting locks? Nope. And it's not growing. I mean, it's growing, but it's not growing that much. It's just out today. I have a lot of shrinkage, so it usually sits down here-ish. I shouldn't have patted that. Well, it's gone now. The floof is gone. It's fine. No baddie. What's up? Good evening.
Hi, it's so petty. On behalf of the Kool-Aid Brigade, I wanted to sincerely apologize for my racism because I
Half
sure
of
should have said
the
I should have
Kool-Aid
said
Brigade.
strawberry lemonade. My
Thank
bad.
you. So y'all are out here disparaging black men.
No, on everything, because that looked like a collection of ghettoism in your hand. It looks like your uncle's glass cup and some Kool-Aid. I'm like, absolutely not petty.
So this glass isn't. You don't think this glass is stylish? It has like little groove.
Yeah, okay, it could be, but like dead ass, my uncle had a cup like that when I was younger. Like, maybe it came back around. You know what? It's refurbished, retro. It's giving thrifty. I like it. How about that?
That feels like a backhanded compliment. Like when my friend said, "Wow, it looks like this furniture is from the nicest flea market." Okay, what does that mean? The nicest flea market? This is from Target, sir. Excuse me. I don't know if Target is better than a flea market or not. So
That's better than like, oh my god, that's different. That's
everybody,
different.
the moment somebody come in my house and say everybody's so creative, I'm a loser.
Yes. But that was it. I'm gonna drop down. That was it.
You just came up here to drag. Okay, thank you.
No, I came to apologize. I deadass have never like came at you about Kool-Aid before. It really looked like you were drink. I thought you were out of line. Like I really thought you was up there drinking Kool-Aid on this old ass cup.
So what if it is Kool-Aid? It's Hawaiian Punch and some other stuff. Among some other stuff. That's what it is. So at least get the drink right.
My bad. I still wonder what's in Kool-Aid these days. There got to be a little sprinkle of crack in it. I don't know.
Did just Brandy just say red flavored Kool-Aid? What does red taste?
You know what red tastes like. Anybody who's drank off-brand.
I didn't know we were all struggling like that. I thought we was all shopping from Target. Everybody in my thing shamed me because I went to Walmart. Everybody else said they go to Target for the convenience and for the atmosphere. I didn't know we were drinking purple drink. I didn't know.
Not purple drink.
Red is the flavor. Red is its own flavor. Hawaiian Punch. Yes. Hawaiian Punch. Yes. You know exactly what red tastes like. Is this what red tastes like actually? I see Heyo Haji in the back. Welcome. Are you here also to drag?
Not you.
Oh, no baddie. You better
I
hold
won't
up.
drag your Kool-Aid cup.
Okay. You want to drag my what?
No, I said I won't. I won't drag your Kool-Aid cup.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Some people don't have that same etiquette, and that's like in my mind.
Oh my god.
Well, she'd already did a good job, so I'll leave you alone.
Oh.
Oh.
So what say you, Heyo Haji, on anything that happened today? Nobody, you can comment on anything too if you want to before I bop out of here.
You know, that whole if he wants to, he will thing. I know you say, you mostly hear it, about like things like, washing the dishes, the trash, stuff like that. But I have no shame in saying I apply that to making love, whining and dining. Like, if you love me, like, show me. You like doing the dishes, cooking, taking out the trash. That doesn't really show appreciation for me. That shows appreciation for you because you want these things done too. You live here too. You need clean dishes too. But they genuinely don't even think that it makes sense to like take a woman out to dinner when you've been married to her for 5 years or 10 years. tell her she looks pretty. You know what I mean? Like walk up behind her and kiss her for no reason. You know what I mean? And they act like these things are like foreign concepts. Like they see the same stuff we see. They grew up with the same information, the same movies, TV shows, social media, everything that we grew up with. And I just think it should be simple. I do think that these are things that we should not have to be like, hey, show me I'm still special to you. Show me I'm still sexy to you. Like, show me something. Am I wrong for that?
I don't think you're wrong, even though that's not how I generally see it. I do generally see women saying like, if he wanted to, he would, about like basic human care. But I don't disagree with you. Even the idea that people have different love languages, so you should communicate your separate love languages. Um, Even something like that. While I understand that, I also understand the idea that I don't want to teach someone. And for me, that's what it's mainly about. I don't want to teach someone how to love me. I don't want to teach someone how to clean after themselves or do something that should be like in human nature. And even what you're saying, do I actually have to
Yeah.
really communicate my love language hard? We see what's on movies and what's on TV, these romantic gestures, getting someone flower, holding their hand, or complimenting them. We all grow up with it, boys and girls. So why do I have to? Why can't it be if he wanted to, he would, right? Why do I have to goad you into treating me the way that I want to be treated? I don't have a problem with people who want to teach people how to love them, but I also don't have a problem with people who are like, I don't feel like teaching somebody how to love me. I want someone who loves me the way I want to be loved, and I don't have to tell them to do that. I completely understand that.
Well, let me be clear. I'm not coming from a place of I don't want to teach somebody how to love me. I actually have no problem with teaching someone how to love me if they just don't know, they just don't get it. I guess what I'm saying is, I don't know if it's just a me thing or if it's a woman thing, but when I do something, it's because I felt that for you. You know what I'm saying? Like something that I felt for you made me want to do these things automatically. You know what I mean? Maybe
Yes.
rub your shoulders or, you know, massage your legs after you came from a workout. Like something in me just prompted me because of the feelings I have for you. And for me, it feels like you don't have it makes me feel like you don't have those feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something in you, there's nothing in you that says, oh, I want to do something nice for her. I want to, make her feel nice. Like it bothers me that that's just not in you.
Yes. You know what the best
Right.
example sorry. Okay.
No, my bad.
You know what the best example I saw of this? I was looking at this while I was looking through my old polls to find the studies about, not studies, the polls about the last two people on Earth. One of my old posts was a screenshot of somebody who said, if that man doesn't do anything for your birthday, he doesn't care about you. And the women were in the comments like, yes. And the men were in the comments like, why don't you just tell him what you want him to do for your birthday so he can do it? And it's like, no, he's not doing anything. What do I want you to do for my birthday, right? What do you want to do for my birthday? So I think that's the hopefully like a good example of what you're
It's
saying.
perfect. It's like, what is in your heart? What is it that your heart is saying, I want to do for this woman? Like, why is that so hard? Why is that wrong of women to want a man, like to see that there's something that their man feels for them, is calling them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me
That's all.
personally, I'm not a good good example. I feel like I'm probably a minority. I don't expect a dude to do anything for me. However, if I tell you and you don't do it, it's done. Like, I don't know, like it's like I'm pretty basic and nonchalant, but I'm picky at the same time. It doesn't make sense, but Yeah, no, I don't mind telling you. I don't mind having to tell you, hey, I want this from this place on my birthday. But I swear to God, if you don't get this from this place for my birthday, I'm gonna have a problem. Like I had to tell you and you
Period.
didn't do it.
Period. And I'm as patient as any other woman. So if a man doesn't automatically do these things, I will say, something. I will tell him, let him know,
Period.
give him a hint, But I don't think it's wrong for women to want those things done for them just out of their feelings for us. Just like
Yeah.
we want to take them out for our feelings for them. We want to get them a
Right.
massage certificate because we just feel that for them. you know?
Marcus said, "You're right. The men in the comments are aligned today. We're all aligned."
Hey, Marcus. Thank you.
Okay, Marcus, you got okay.
Oh, no. I'm not single now.
Huh?
I said, oh, no, I'm not single now.
It must be nice. I'm trying to get like you. Um, it must be nice.
Oh my God. It's not
Oh,
that bad.
No, being sad for being sad, being single for a man is so much worse. Haven't y'all seen the study, The Rise of Lonely Single Men?
Oh
yeah.
my
You struggling
God.
and starving right now.
Oh my God. No.
Starving. Like, what is my purpose in life if I don't have a person to subjugate? I mean, to be with. So
Oh my God.
yeah, the comments are aligned with you guys. It looks like Cantaron said, "I've broken up with a man before for simply forgetting my birthday after I told him it's a big deal for me to not forget it. My birthday is too close to Christmas and was always overlooked." Ooh.
No, you can't get me to believe you forgot my birthday. I will not believe that. I will
Yeah,
not
that's a
believe you.
problem.
So I don't remember stuff like that, but I put it in my calendar. I'll put it in my notes to remind me like a week before, 2 weeks before, so I can get a present or something just to like jog my memory at least. Um, and then of course, once you're dating for someone for like years and years, you should know the date of their.
And then they tell you, hey, I have trauma about that shit. Don't forget. And you forget? Nah.
Oh, I thought you were saying they have trauma around remembering your birthday.
Oh no. She has trauma around like, people forgetting her or maybe lumping her into Christmas or whatever. And she's like, hey, I'm traumatized about that. And he's like, oh, I forgot to. No.
So I'm gonna read these last couple comments and then we're gonna get out of here. So Golden said, "It's capacity versus competency. I no longer date for capacity or potential. Competency is demonstrated, a proven track record." I agree with that. I don't date potential. I have no idea why anybody's out here dating potential. Stop. No, this is how it was articulated. Sorry to interrupt. So you are, let's say, fancy businesswoman making six figures, and you see this man in college. He's about to get his degree. Once he gets out in the real world, he's going to be making good money. So you see the potential in him to grow. But I think what people miss out on is that they also have potential in themselves. By the time this person has grown where you are, you'll be gone. So it feels like a never-ending chase unless maybe you think they're going to outperform you or like shoot past you or something. But it feels like you would date someone. It's not bad to date someone with potential, but you would still like date laterally, right? Someone on your level so that you both have potential and you're both going to be growing, as opposed to one person is always outperforming the other. So I'm not dating a potential out here. That feels weird. Just Brandy. Nobody wants to be in a one-sided unreciprocated relationship. Yup. Mara, teaching someone emotional intelligence is annoying. Yes. Granted, I know some people have trauma and healing to do, but that takes you as an adult and individual to look within. And to be honest, I think people are dating people with trauma and people who have healing to do. And I think they're helping them with that trauma and that healing, but I don't think the people they're helping do the self work. So it feels like I'm like, this is grain of salt, please. I'm not like, I haven't done a study on this. This is just what I've seen. But it feels like you're gonna put effort into somebody who's not gonna put effort into themselves, and no. It's exhausting. It's like raising someone, like a child. Why do I have to tell you stop? You're grown. That's why he's an ex. Not putting in much effort will get him broken up with. Thank you. Rustlin commanded to date for potential. Dating potential has led to a toe tag. I don't know what that means. Interpreters at the standby. Women
Would
are.
you like me to try and interpretate?
Sure.
I think they're saying like a lot of times we'll know that the guy is, depressed because he's broke, or no, seriously, like depressed because he's broke, or depressed, and not sort of emotionally unhinged, but we'll sit there and we'll be like, oh, if I can just help him, I can just, this or that, blah blah blah. And the more you try to do for him, the more patient you are, the nicer you are. I'm telling you, this happens a lot. He just gets angrier and angrier and angrier, and you end up 6 feet under.
I have a similar take. Mine is more like, it's similar, but it's more like a lot of abusers and scammers and users disguise as potential. Therefore, you're more likely to, end up hurt if you just going off that.
That part.
Okay, I accept both. I don't disagree with either. Women are also very susceptible to the sunken cost fallacy. I'm not sure what that is, but I think it has something to do with putting effort into something, and even if it fails, you keep putting effort into it because I don't know why I'm guessing. I'm about to just Google it. Sunk cost fallacy, the phenomenon whereby a person is reluctant to abandon a strategy or course of action because they have invested heavily in it, even when it's clear that abandonment would be more beneficial. Oof.
Oh, I just learned something. Thank you, Anti.
Thank you.
What was that definition for? What was the word?
Sunk cost fallacy. I'm gonna put it on screen for the watchers. So you've invested so much into this sinking ship that you go down with it instead of getting in the life raft.
Oh, that's so sad.
Anti dropping knowledge today because she also dropped a lint roller. So thank you, Anti. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the last one. This makes me feel better about what I've felt throughout my 7+ years of defunct relationship. I see my ex in so much of what you have said in DJ. Waking people up today. Excellent. Final thoughts.
The way that you just threw in the lint roller, like when I was just watching, I wasn't there. You threw that shit in. I almost fell out. I almost fell out. I had to replay that. You have to make that a clip.
Okay. Anti has been dropping knowledge today. Anti is clippable. Anti coming for curry up and eat. That's what she is doing. So that's going to be all from me today. Hey Ohaji, you had anything to add?
Not anything really to add except that Miss Deed's comment, the part of the ring the alarm lyrics, I think that's so on point. That's all.
I've been through this. Ring the alarm. I've been through this too long, but I'll be damned if I see another chick on your arm. Oh, okay. I see what's going on here. Beyonce and Jay-Z, and then Lemonade. Okay, it's all coming together now. It's all coming together. Isn't this interesting? We do one new thing every video, and then we tie it into what goes on in the Black community, and then we can refer to it for the entire future. That's cool because I'm about to refer to this now. I'm about to refer to sunk cost fallacy. I promise y'all about to see a 1000% usage rate of sunk cost fallacy in my future videos. So y'all can think anti. With that being said, I am selling furniture. None of you guys live near where I live.
Good night.
Also, the Discord is open. Thank you both for coming up, by the way. The Discord is open. I'm going to post a link in the comments. Now, I guess I'll make... Actually, hold up. It might be in the description of the video. Yep. It's also in the description of the video. Cool. So it should be in the description of all my videos. I removed the paid thing and refunded people who paid for access. We now just have one that's open and one that's in the same Discord, but a closed channel. Okay. And y'all are coming in. Y'all are coming in. And y'all are coming in. I'm going to finish this red liquid now. There's something at the bottom of my drink. I really wish I had saw that when the drink was still at the top, but sometimes you see things late. Nah, can y'all imagine getting to the bottom of your drink and it's a roach chilling in there? There's not a roach in here. I think it's... Oh, that might be the I tried to garnish with cinnamon, but it all sunk to the bottom. No memes. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hold up. Matter of fact. Thank you so much. Instead of watching a meme, we can look at one of my favorite actors, ambassing. He gave this very heartwarming speech after winning the Oscar for Best Actor. How do I? Where's the volume?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me be just what I need to buzz. Let me just be what I need to buzz. Cause I'm bussing. I'm bussing.
Okay, so I'm bussing. If you guys don't know, he lost his brother ambussing. This is Umbuttacum. This is Umbuttacum. And his brother's name is Umbussing. Unfortunately, Umbussing passed away recently. But why are y'all leaving? Y'all ask me for memes. This is how you treat me. After everything I've done for you. Instead of memes, I did want to go through some of my more interesting polls. I think we were supposed to look at this before the video, but we didn't get to. So let's look at them now. I asked, if your government decided to build a female-only city, would you support this decision or be against it? 52% of people strongly support it. 13% kind of support it. 16% are neutral. 6% are kind of against it. And 12% are strongly against it. And when I went to the comments to figure out why, not canceled, to figure out why, where is it? I found something interesting. Well, people were like, it sounds like a dream. Most of the women are like, sounds like a utopia, sounds like a dream. I would be there in a heartbeat. There are villages like this in Africa. Only men can visit and not stay. It's peaceful too. Maybe women would actually feel safe. Where is the comment I saw? It is no longer here. I wish I could find this comment. There was a comment. I think they might have deleted it. But there was a comment that said, oh, this poll is like 10 months ago. I saw it while I was looking for my other ones we looked at today. There was a comment that said, oh, there were female-ran societies in the past, matriarchal societies in the past, and there are problems both with patriarchal and matriarchal societies, where patriarchal societies tend to like subjugate women, and they tend to, treat women as second-class citizens, as property. But then in matriarchal societies, they tend to be too soft, and they tend to like get overrun or invaded and stuff like that because their defense is too weak. And the comment was kind of equating the two things, which I didn't like, because there's an implication here that if you give the men the power, they're going to subjugate people. And that's the problem. But if you give the women the power, it's just like literally a utopia, but then the men who are neighboring you will invade you. So I took issue with him equating the two things, but I can't find it now. Wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah. Okay. Our next order of business. Going on a date tonight with $11 in my bank account. Let's hope he's not a feminist. I don't know why I found that so funny. And then she replied to herself and said, he said in the first 3 minutes of the date, I follow you on Twitter. Don't worry, I got you covered. And I just found that really funny. And I liked that he was, were matriarchal societies ever a matriarch if they are always, making decisions based on men opinion? I don't know. I don't know that there are matriarchal societies in the way that the man was commenting. All I know is that he seemed to be insinuating that the problem with a woman-led society is that men will come in and do what they do. So I only took issue with, like, the framing seemed like the problem with men is this and the problem with women is this, where the problem with men is that they are going to rape and pillage, and the problem with women is that men are going to rape and pillage them, so you need men to protect you. And I will ask the question, as always, protect from who? And we know who. I said, as a man, if you're not spending at least $200 on the first date, you don't deserve a woman's attention. Real men get their money up before trying to date. I'm not going through the comments. I just remember them being mad. And I found that funny. Oh, here it is. That's not the one. It was this one. Which society would you rather live in? A society ran by men or a society ran by women? And I separated the votes into men and women. So men overwhelmingly said they would want to live in a society by men, not by women. Women said they would overwhelmingly want to live in a society ran by women, not by men. And then about 50% of people said they were indifferent or something else. This is where he said it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? In case you didn't notice, only one member of the species can go up against wild animals with sticks and sharp stuff. Okay, I'm done. I'm sick of the Stone Age. I want to leave the Stone Age, and it feels like we keep going back. Oh, I actually had Alicia is in the comments. I actually had your video up. I'm watching Black Girl Magic. Didn't save me now. So that's what I'm going to watch after I get off of here. We're going to put it on the speakers and do audio. Make sure to go see. And that's what I should be doing. I should be promoting Alicia, because Alicia's channel, there's no ghetto-ness, there's no degeneracy, there's no niggatry. I understand that we engage in degeneracy from time to time over here, every stream over here. Alicia doesn't have any of that. She's just like really chill, really calming, right? Really just a breath of fresh air. There's no manosphere, there's no red pill, there's no prehistoric era. Marcus says he loves all of Alicia's videos. But yeah, there's none of that stuff over there. We don't have to go to 3000 BC where men are fighting with sticks. We can just come here and learn about Black Girl Magic and why Black women are exhausted, right? So she talks about perpetual exhaustion in that video, at least in the bit that I've watched. I haven't watched it all. I've only read the description and watched the first little bitty bit. But yeah, go and watch that, guys. That's something cool. Okay, now we can get to these memes and get out of here. I'm tired of these YouTube polls. I want to see something. I want to see, you know. I guess memes are going to be a regular occurrence at the end of the stream. Let's see. Y'all tell me something about my humor in the comments. When you walk past the bathroom door and your mother peeing in the dark with the door wide open. I don't know why I related to this. Why did I relate to this so much? Do we all have a collective experience? Okay, let's see. Here's Aiden Ross and Charleston White.
Maybe I don't fuck that good. Nah, you do fuck good, huh? Man, stop that shit, man. You don't know how good I fuck. I know.
No, you know what's funny? I noticed this. As soon as you do like anything that could be perceived as a threat to the quote unquote masculinity or a question to the quote unquote masculinity, why you up walking around her house? You could tell Vitamin's a mom. You could, well, level up single mom, right? Okay. But I could tell just based on whose side y'all taking. And why are you mad at I'm up walking in the house I live in? That don't make sense. And what she say? I closed the door and she like, you trapped me in here. The lock is on the, you know, okay, the lock on the inside, but
Oh, I'm saying you don't know how good I fuck. I ain't gonna speak on it. Ain't it? God damn it, man. My bad, Unc. Shit, man, you gonna make people think we fucking. No, I wouldn't know. It's just when you don't know what your people gonna think when you put that shit out there like that. God damn, ain't them shit, man. Most of the girls that I talked to, they said, damn, Unc, you know, he's slanging. They don't know nothing about.
as soon as there's a threat to a masculinity, somebody about to get violent. Somebody about to get violent. Oh.
I decided it was time to show my server that I knew Chinese.
What? I decided. Y'all, what is it about? I'm sorry. This was about to be rude for no reason. I apologize. What is it about mediocre white men who go to like Chinese restaurant and start saying ni hao cayenne or whatever they say and ordering in Chinese and making videos? That feels so weird to me. That feels really weird. But nah, this Asian man's like, yo, I'm from Detroit. I'm from Detroit. What are you talking about?
Thing you got to worry about, man. Them young boys coming.
They are down 3-2, but they send the series back to Los Angeles for game 6 on Friday. That'll be a dandy to watch.
So Shaq just sitting there. Okay, 2 more.
Dude, wake up! Come on, really?
Oh, my squirrels. Gen Z humor is getting weird, y'all. I must be getting weird too because I like it. Last one. I'm sorry, my humor is broken. I'm sorry, y'all. Have a live stream of you reacting to videos. I guess y'all aren't in the membership tab. I'm thinking about doing that on weekends for members because I'm not about to let YouTube see what's going on in my humor. I shouldn't laugh at this. I shouldn't laugh at this. Okay, we will.
I don't count plays, make plays count. I don't count days, make days count.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. Okay, last one.
You need to get into anger management counseling, and you need to get into that counseling immediately. I believe that you love your daughter, And the fact that you would put her in jeopardy says to me that you were out of control. And I want you to listen to me.
Trying to get
Because
away.
you seem to me,
Trying to get away.
you seem to me
trying to get away.
like a young man with
I was trying to get
potential.
away on my God, on
But
grandma, my
Jalen,
mama's soul. She
you
valid
have
and mad.
problems that must be dealt with. So this is the ruling from my court.
This is not me. This is not me. They can say what they want, but this is not me.
Okay, Baylor Brandon, please remove him from the courtroom.
But this is not me.
You
In the trail off as he's singing and walking out. Whatever they said he did it. Ain't no innocent man about to. Come on now. Come on.
Take your ass.
Oh, no. We don't need to watch that. I don't want to get demonetized. Okay. Last one for real.
What's your deepest, darkest secret? Like a secret you never told nobody. Like, what's your deepest, darkest secret?
I fucked my sister.
Your blood sister?
What I did, because my older sister, well, she fucked me because I was jacking my dick and she saw me jacking my dick. And
Whoa, wait, hold up. I don't remember this one. I don't remember this one. Excuse me. Hold up. He just came right out with it too. Hold up.
you don't need David. Come on, I give you some pussy. And we were both drunk. Yeah. What's your deepest?
No, you're not about what's your deepest secret. You thought we was exchanging or something? You thought we were exchanging after that? No. Thought we were exchanging some secrets. No, not after you told me this. Ooh, I just watched something I can't put on screen. I can't put it on. Oh, this is one that I saw too. I think everybody's seen this, so we can end on this because we're at the 3-hour mark now. So
Niggas, I mean nigga people. Oh Lord. Niggas, I mean nigga people. Oh Lord.
oh my goodness. I think I cursed in church once by accident. I said the F word and then I said, oh shit. Oh. Cause you get in a loop, right? Cause you say the word by accident, you're like F, O, S, S, O, S, O, F, O, S. Like you get caught in this loop because anyway. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate your being here. If you haven't already, be sure to leave a like. I see some of you are coming into the Discord now. So welcome to that. I'll drop the link one more time, but it's also just going to be in the description from now on. So good night, everybody. Here's the link. She said, Nick people. He took advantage of some free publicity. What advantage did he get from? But thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Rest well. See you all in the Discord.